So today it's the Mountaineers of West Virginia against the Miami Nasdaq's college football. It is a sultry September Saturday in South Florida. Truly a day when one could barbecue. And whether you're from Morgantown making your way down to South Florida, or you're a Miami faithful next to your RVs and campers, you realize the importance of today's game as we bring you inside venerable Orange Bowl Stadium. Nasdaq's college football, West Virginia and Miami. The Mountaineers of West Virginia, coached by Don Nalen, 62 years young. Here come the Mountaineers. They have revenge on their mind. They've had 3 heartbreaking losses against the Canes, a team that has played in 8 of the last 14 national championship games. Butch Davis brings up. Hi again, everyone. I'm Tim Brando, welcoming you to CBS Sports coverage of college football. And forget about the history. Let's talk about the present. These two teams are at their crossroads. West Virginia 2 weeks ago was upset against Boston College. They need a victory today on the road. But for Miami, a team suddenly with 2 losses, and with all of that history, they understand that a home loss today would truly be devastating if they are to be the beast of the East. You know, my partner, Ed Cunningham, that outstanding offensive lineman at Washington, he loves being in the trenches, so we sent him down to the stadium floor. And Ed, I think you would agree, off that loss at Pittsburgh, this is a far different Miami team.
There have been a lot of personnel changes, Tim, but the one constant has been senior quarterback Ryan Clement. He's a 3-year starter who last year was 9th in the NCAA in passing efficiency. This year has been a totally different story for Ryan, though, as he's only thrown 2 touchdowns on top of 3 interceptions. But let's not put all of the blame on Ryan Clement. He has 3 new starters on his offensive line, and they have struggled picking up the blitz. And West Virginia will blitz them all day long. West Virginia's 3-4 defense is led by senior defensive nose guard John Thornton, a big guy who's very active in the middle. But the story in Morgantown is Amos Zeray, their sophomore running back. Last year as a freshman, he rushed for over 1,000 yards and missed 2 ball games. One of them was against Miami. He's very excited to come on this grass where he says he makes better moves. Let's go to our colleague on the sidelines today. It's Dave Logan with head coach Don Nalen.
All right, Ed, thank you very much. And Coach Nalen, everybody here in Miami has been talking about the pressure that's on the Hurricanes, but for you guys as well, the stakes are just as high. You need a big afternoon.
Oh, there's no question about it. Both of us have lost the game in the league, so both of us need to win, and unfortunately only one can, so let's hope it's us.
All right, Coach, have a good one. Let's go back upstairs. Tim.
Dave, thank you very much. You look at the temperature today, we mentioned a day to barbecue, to be sure. 89 degrees, the humidity moving upwards to 70% by game's end. It's 68% now, and we could have some scattered South Florida thunder showers as the afternoon progresses. As you see Ryan Clement, a guy that means so much to this Miami program if they are to have any success this year. This is a series that has been dominated by Miami through the years, but the games have been particularly close of late. They lead it 10-2, 6 of 7 in the Orange Bowl, and Davis is 2-0 against the Mountaineers, and they've won in dramatic fashion, particularly last year in Morgantown off a block punt late in the game, in a game that certainly West Virginia felt they let get away at a time when they were 7-0. Jay Taylor, junior from Hershey, Pennsylvania, will kick off. The Mountaineers won the toss and deferred. Dropping back deep for Miami, Trent Jones, number 6, and Jeff Popovich. There will be a following wind behind Taylor's boot as we get this one underway here at the Orange Bowl. West Virginia hopeful of turning around their fortunes against the Miami Hurricanes at a time when they believe the mighty Canes have become vulnerable in the Big East. This will be taken in by Jones at the 5. All the way up to the 32-yard line, a 27-yard return. Williams and Edmonds were down there to make the stop for West Virginia. Ryan Clement, young man with a lot of pressure on him today, senior out of Denver, Colorado. Came in with high expectations, hoping for a national title, as his predecessors have had. Now he simply wants to be number one in his own league, but he'll have to win the remainder of them, at least in his mind. Edgerrin James will be dotting the I on this opening play. And he gets the call. James up to the 35, picks up a couple of yards. Gary Stills made the stop. Let's take a look at the rest of that receiver core and backfield. James getting the call. Dyrell McMillan is injured. His shoulder again a problem and is out of the lineup today. Wayne is a playmaker, a freshman out of Louisiana. And up front, this offensive line sees Curlin Blaze as their best. He's playing right tackle. He was at left tackle a year ago, but they have been patchwork. Ty Wise, a converted center, is at guard on the left side. 2nd down and 7. Play fake, and Clement will roll. As the tight end, Franks past midfield into West Virginia territory at the 42-yard line. Barrett Green, the strong safety, over there to cover. 23-yard pickup as you look at the West Virginia starting lineups. Thornton, the key to this game, as Ed Cunningham mentioned. Slay is a pass rusher. The linebackers, led by Stills, who's had an injured hand. They believe he's at 80% today. He's a strong pass rusher. That secondary is led by Bastine and Nate Terry, a junior college transfer that they believe can cover in man-to-man. James runs right into Hadley, 52, the senior from Delray Beach, Florida. There are 15 Floridians on this Mountaineer team, 5 of them from the Miami area. So the ball will be spotted at the 41-yard line.
Amazing thing, Tim, is there are only 8 guys on the travel squad from West Virginia on West Virginia. Of course, not a whole lot of high school football played in that state.
By the way, you're pretty quick.
Oh, I got up here as quick as I could.
Not bad for an offensive lineman. 2nd and 9. Clement gets happy feet, now decides to tuck it. Boy, did he run into Hadley and Slay. The two of them knocked him back a couple of yards. Hadley, 52, really barreled into him.
I'm not sure that was Hadley or a wall. Ryan Clement flew back. You can see the pressure coming from the outside. Clement can't find anybody to go to, so he's going to tuck it and go. Not a bad move early in the game. Kind of get your feet underneath you, but what a pop by Hadley. That will be felt later in the game by Clement.
Hadley, as I mentioned, out of the state of Florida, a strong alumni group based here in Miami from West Virginia. They have better than 15,000 or so that are among their alumni, and they're thinking they could have 10 to 12,000 here today. And we've got an injured West Virginia Mountaineer. Appears to be Stills. We see one numeral. It appears to be 5. Gary Stills, who, as we mentioned, has been playing with a cast on that hand.
And you know, Tim, they cannot afford to lose this guy. He is their best linebacker. He replaces an All-American in Canute, and they really need this guy in today's ballgame. He adds a speed dimension that they don't have in the other linebackers, and looks like they're working on his left hand.
Yeah, the aggravated hand that had been a problem. And he was just at 80%, they felt, for today's game. Tried to play against Boston College, was not as effective as he would have liked to have been. And you're right, this means that they get a little less deep at that outside linebacker. Don Nalen very aware of it, and Steve Dunlap, the defensive coordinator for West Virginia, mentioned Stills to us in our conversations earlier in the week as being a real key to their fortunes.
And look for Ryan Brady to come in. He played quite a bit when Stills was hurt the first time.
1st down and 10 at the West Virginia 32, just underway. Carlo Joseph now the fullback, leading this play for Edgerrin James, and he made a heck of a block. 1st down Miami inside the 22, and flags come down as James hits the deck along the sidelines. They may tack on more for a face mask.
Carlo Joseph is one of those players, Tim, that running backs love to have in their backfield. Can receive the football, can block, You just saw an incredible block by him, and nice job by James for waiting for his block. Carlos Calles is the player that's down. You're going to see a little bit of a pull by Calles. You see he goes down on the ground, but watch Edgar and James wait for the block by Carlos Joseph. That's good patience. He gets a 9-yard gain because of that patience.
Grabbing the face mask on the defense. At the distance to the goal, we'll place the ball on the 11-yard line. First down.
Jim McConaughey, our referee, with the call. And a 12-yard penalty as they continue to work with Stills.
Tim, he's got a dislocated finger. That is one of the most painful things that can happen. That trainer is just trying to pull that finger back in the socket. I've had a few of those, and they're not fun.
Ouch. 1st and 10, ball just outside the 10-yard line. James hit behind the line. Brady coming right in for Gary Stills, and a little how do you do for Edgar and James.
Pulling guard didn't quite get to the line of scrimmage fast enough. And Ryan Brady filling in for Stills did a nice job against Boston College when he filled in. He had 4 tackles and a tackle for a loss in his first college start.
We mentioned at the top of the show that the red zone, very important to these teams during the course of this day, and early on we're going to get a true indication of how tight Miami may or may not be. James again runs right into that forward wall, and there was some help from Damon Cogdell, the linebacker. We mentioned the front 3 is the strength of this team, and now they're getting help from the linebackers.
Cogdell does a nice job on the backside filling in. Edgar and James cut that thing back all the way from the point of attack, and Cogdell was just there waiting for him. Nice job on the backside.
Miami, our offensive coordinator, you see there in the center with her hairline getting closer to mine. That's Larry Coker, the offensive coordinator.
What a great guy to visit with the other day. Just very friendly and gave us a lot of great information.
3rd down, 16. Little out pattern to Carlo Joseph. And again, Ryan Brady there to make the play. So advantage West Virginia, losing Stills and then making some plays to force Miami into 2nd and 3rd and long, and they could not convert.
Stills one of their fastest linebackers, but they're showing why they are so good on defense. And Clement cannot take poundings like this all day. Although he got that ball off, he got hit to the turf pretty hard there.
This will be a 32-yard field goal try for Andy Crossland. Right through. Not a problem, and Miami strikes first. So a quality drive that bogs down as West Virginia's defense against the run steadied in the latter going. Canes by 3.
David Logan back with you on the West Virginia sideline. The injuries are starting to mount here. Miami has taken an early 3-0 lead, but you notice that Gary Stills, the linebacker for West Virginia, went down withering in pain. We just found out from head trainer Dave Kearns that he dislocated his right thumb. Now the problem is they were trying to pop it back into the socket. They usually have about maybe 12 minutes to do so. They could not get it in, so they took him inside to give him an injection to see whether or not they can get it back in the socket. He should return sometime in this game. As for Miami, their offensive lineman, Calles, has also gone down with a turf toe injury. I don't expect that to be serious at all. They'll just rewrap it. He will rejoin the game in just a few moments. Tim, back to you.
All right, Dave, thank you. George Gaitan, Jr. from Coral Gables to kick it away. Nate Terry is back deep along with Curtis Keaton. And I believe in track and field, they'd back you up for that.
False start.
Yeah, you came out of the blocks too quick, George. We're going to make you do it again.
Back to Gary Stills for a second, Tim. I've had 2 or 3 dislocated fingers. I've never had a dislocated thumb. I can't imagine the pain he's in right now.
There's Terry to the top of your screen and Keaton to the lower portion of your screen awaiting the boot, and it's a high kick against that wind. Someone's got to field it. Finally, West Virginia does get it upfield. I believe it was Terry that came all the way up. It is Nate Terry, number 28, that made the catch at the 27-yard line. Mark Bolger, youngster from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, played at the same high school as Dan Marino, Central Catholic. A lot expected of him. And bloodlines are very thick. His father was a backup quarterback to Joe Theismann at Notre Dame in 1970 and 71. They want him to open up this package a bit more.
Even though he went to the same high school as Dan Marino, didn't feel the pressure because he only played quarterback for 1 year while he was there.
All at the 26, 1st and 10. Leroy White in motion. Caught by Chad Wable, the tight end. Eugene Ridley is there to make the stop, the free safety. Take a look at the rest of that West Virginia lineup. Zeray, of course, the star back. The star receiver is Sean Foreman. 9 catches against Boston College, the junior taking over for David Saunders, who was injured out for the season. Up front, DeGrow will be expected to do a lot. Pequenas is their best. The senior out of Florence, New Jersey, had a tremendous start against Marshall in the opener. Zeray beyond the 35 to the 36-yard line. Again, Ridley is over, along with Dan Morgan, number 44, to make the stop.
Dan Simrell, the offensive coordinator of West Virginia, really likes those guys because they just get it up the field.
Let's take a look at the defensive wall. Pegues getting the start today. Fortney is a pass rusher, and they want Derek Ham to play at a higher level. The linebacking core for Miami has been exploitable at best. And that linebacking core has changed a great deal. Morgan becoming the first freshman to start a home opener in a long, long time. 6'2", 210-pounder, number 44. They say his instincts are better than any that they have, and that should tell you that Miami has a depleted linebacking core.
The one thing that Bill Miller, the defensive coordinator, is concerned about, though, is his pass coverage. Not his ability to do it, but his ability to read it and get back on play actions.
Bill Miller is to the right of Coach Coker, you see. He's up at the top of your screen, Bill Miller, the defensive coordinator. But they've been running a 4-3 set since Jimmy Johnson became head coach in 1983. They've not deviated from it.
Don't change things that are successful, Tim.
Today, this game is all about continuing that success. 3rd down and a yard to go. Sneak. Bolger keeps it and appears to have the first down. The entire forward wall there for Miami.
Miami's troubles on offense have circled around their offensive line. West Virginia's strength is their offensive line. They returned 4 starters from last year, all of them Big East type players.
Foreman and Corey Ivey both come flanked to the bottom of your screen. Three-step drop. That ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage, but still reeled in. Starks makes the catch of Pat Green. Pat Green, the recipient of that pass, the senior. That ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage, but yet Green able to reel it in.
West Virginia's offensive line doing a nice job pass protecting. Denny Fortney at the very last second able to get that big hand up and knock that ball away. But again, if you throw the ball hard enough, it's going to get through there.
2nd down, 5. Fade pattern incomplete, and a lot of pressure coming on the blitz from Morgan, the freshman that we mentioned earlier. Bill Miller decides to send the youngster playing the linebacking position.
Miami stemmed down to kind of a double eagle, or as known in the NFL, the 46 defense. And they did a little stunt in the middle. Dan Morgan came from the outside, got nice pressure. Fade pass just a little long by Bulger.
It is hot, and you know, there have been teams that have come out and they ice along the sidelines. You see the temperature upwards of now 100 degrees on the field.
It's not the temperature that's going to get him, though, Tim. It's the humidity.
Ball's on the ground. That one hit the deck. West Virginia apparently holds on to possession, but will be forced into a punt formation. Arizona State played here a couple of weeks ago, and they actually had ice bags, and they were sitting on them during the course of the game in this kind of heat.
Nice job by Miami. Get down and get a 3-point score, and now you may have to go a long way, but at least you're putting your offense back on the field.
Brian Bauman will punt it away, should get it off around his 30-yard line. Starks is back deep, waiting inside the 20. Has it at the 17. Look out. Oh, a quick burst. He's tripped up at the 32-yard line. And that's where the Hurricanes will take over 1st and 10. We'll be back.
Here we go, Miami! Woo!
7 minutes, 38 seconds remaining in the first quarter. NASDAQ college football underway on CBS Sports. Along with Dave Logan and Ed Cunningham, Tim Brando, happy to have you with us. Canes take over at the 34-yard line. 1st and 10. Movement up front. You saw Thornton barrel his way through Mike Weiner, the center.
That's one way for a nose guard to definitely get himself on TV. Jump off sides.
This down front three, Baum, Thornton, and Slay.
Dead ball. Offsides with contact. On the defense, 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
They have been chomping at the bit for the opportunity to go against a Miami offensive line that they believe has been juggled and may not be what it once was.
You remember, Miami is playing in the Orange Bowl, and they're always tough down here. They got to remember that.
After the penalty, it's 1st and 5. Plenty of time. Incomplete. Santana Moss, number 48, freshman out of Carter High School in Dallas, was the intended receiver. Gary Tompkins, the free safety, right there with him. Originally signed with Miami, did Tompkins, out of Monsignor Pace High School.
See a little post route right down the middle. Gary Tompkins, if he does not trip on this play as he's backpedaling, that would have been an easy interception. Clement put too much air under that ball. Again, we go back to the pressure, though. You can see the pile on the screen there. That's everybody laying on top of Ryan Clement. They need to stop him from being hit.
We should also touch on the fact that Clement threw a number of passes against Pittsburgh that floated on him, did not seemingly have the same zip on the ball that he's had in past years. And a timeout. Ryan Clement did not like what he saw defensively, and he decided to take the timeout. 7 minutes and 32 seconds remaining here in the opening period.
In meeting with Clement yesterday, he had a feeling that a lot of these guys were starting to gel, some of these freshmen. And he knows with this extra time, with 10 days of preparation instead of just 7, that they've been able to get a lot of work in.
5-yard penalty called prior to the timeout. So McConaughey gets him with the violation prior to the timeout being called. That's a tough one to take. Part of Ryan's problem has been the loss of so many tremendous receivers in the past, and he's lacked the kind of cohesion with the receivers that need to make hot reads for him or line up in the right place from time to time.
As far as everyone knows here at the University of Miami, this is the first time that they have ever started 2 true freshmen at wide receiver.
2nd down and 10. Movement again, this time to right guard.
I believe that is Eric Schnupp, who was filling in for the injured Carlos Calles.
So after a 1st and 5, it'll be 2nd and 15. Look at this. 8 penalties, 113 yards. Many of them on special teams that cost them a lot of field position in that game.
70 yards of those penalties were on special teams. Late hits, lining up in the wrong position, and Butch Davis was absolutely raving mad about that. You can't blame him. It's the mental mistakes that kill a football team.
18 and 8 in his 3rd year at Miami. But more importantly, he's 1 and 2 this year. Clement looking for Wayne, cannot find him, decides to tuck it. And negotiates to the 35-yard line. Cogdell is over there to make the tackle. There have been problems in the past for Clement. He had it last week, a week ago Thursday against Pittsburgh. It's our coach's playbook.
Watch left tackle Mateen right here. He's going to kind of get a little discombobulated. He's got to pick up. There's 2 blitzers coming, and they miss the outside guy. Why Mateen did not go outside, I don't know. Pittsburgh meets at the quarterback. Clement fumbles. It's a loss of about 40 yards on the play. Somehow Miami kept possession of that ball.
Couple of turnovers, though, inside the red zone really cost them. Now 3rd down and 8. Clement to Wayne. He's got it. That's the playmaker we mentioned, the freshman from Marrero, Louisiana. Nate Terry was over there to provide coverage. 19 yards and a well-thrown pass from Ryan Clement.
Not only a well-thrown pass, but a great catch by Reggie Wayne. But once again, a lot of hits on Clement. You see the ISO. See the little moves, how he's making them at full speed. He doesn't stutter his feet. He does them as he's moving. Great catch with his hands. Young guys don't tend to do that. They'll catch it with their body. Watch the pressure. Little defensive line stunt. Big Henry Slay coming around from the outside. He's getting that helmet right in those ribs. Thankfully for Clement, he's got his rib protectors on today.
1st and 10 with the ball at the 45-yard line of West Virginia. Edgerrin James has been in there. Trent Jones is also seeing some playing time today for Miami. He's stopped by Perlo Bastine. Jones on the carry. Let's go back to our New York studios, Jim Nantz.
All right, Tim, a horrendous start for Kentucky. Tim Couch picked off on the game's first play. Florida turned right around on its first play, and Fred Taylor took it in from 16 yards. They've added a touchdown pass to Jaquez Green to lead 14-0 just 7 minutes into the contest. Back to the Orange Bowl.
As good as Tim Couch is, he won't find a better secondary to play against than Steve Spurrier and Bobby Stoops' secondary.
Not much of a better defensive line either.
Edgerrin James comes right in for Trent Jones, picks up the first down at the 33-yard line. Jamie Sweeney, among others, in to pop him, the senior out of Greenburgh, Pennsylvania.
A lot of coaches talk about the running game, and they say they want to get it going, and this is one guy who can get it going. Not only 220 pounds, but he has that breakaway speed all coaches like. It's good for Miami that they're establishing this run early, because this heat could continue to wear down West Virginia.
And again, a reminder, Dyrell McMillan not even dressed for today's game. Got hurt in last year's game with West Virginia, aggravated it in the loss at Pittsburgh, and is not suited up today. Quick step drop. And a drop pass by Santana Moss. It's a freshman from Miami that walked on, and Ryan Clement begged the coaches to put him in the lineup because he worked out during the summer with Ryan, and he feels that he has a little more continuity with him. Usually the play selection, a little bit more on the ground, and that's something Miami felt they had to accomplish early in today's game.
Take a little pressure off Clement. Try to make him feel like he doesn't have to do everything. The unfortunate thing, he made the right read through hot, and the freshman Santana Moss just dropped the ball.
Moss lines up along with Reggie Wayne to the top of your screen on the left side. Here comes the blitz. They flood the zone. It was wide open for Carlo Joseph, and Clement, who was hurrying that off the blitz from Cogdell, just airmailed it well over the head of Carlo Joseph.
You can see on the top of your screen, right outside of the screen, you're going to see a blitz coming from the outside. It's Cogdell. He is unblocked, and as Carlo Joseph slips out to the right side of your screen, Clement knows there's a lot of heat coming. He's got to get rid of the ball. Unfortunately, he sailed it because there was a lot of green field in front of Carlo Joseph.
Oh, the transfer from Chaffee Junior College and a Miami product, Cogdell getting in his licks early in this game. 3rd down 10. Pressure from the corner again. Clement steps up. What a hit at the 10-yard line. Incomplete for Omar Roll, and Gary Thompson, another Miamian playing for the Mountaineers, really hammered Omar Roll. And he is still down.
What a read by Tompkins. Ball was not floated. It was a pretty good throw by Clement. Maybe just a little late, though. He's got to get rid of this ball. But the pressure, again, from the outside is making Clement move. Doing a nice job still looking downfield. I think that's why the ball may have been a little late and let Tompkins lay a pop all over Omar Roll. And remember, Roll is still not 100% from his knee injury he had last year.
He got him right in the chest. Sometimes you can get underneath those shoulder pads, can't you?
Well, that's a hit that he may have felt all the way down into his knee. I mean, that's good timing by Tompkins and unfortunate for Roll.
Gary Thompson getting a good lick in. Just listen to this.
I think the crowd knew it before we did. You could hear them getting excited before the hit, but it was such a hit. Good job for Roll to get up. Probably just had the wind knocked out of him.
I get the impression they're going to go for it here on 4th down. I mean, with all the concern for Roll, I think the thing we can't lose sight of is it's 4th down and long, and Miami giving every indication that they're going to go for it.
You're looking at close to a 50-yard field goal. You're in that tweener zone. A punt would be very difficult to kick this short, and a field goal may just be too long. I like this call by Butch Davis.
Send an early message. Joseph remains in at fullback. Trent Jones is coming at the tailback spot. Wayne flanked at the bottom of your screen.
Clement looking for Nate Wayne on the post. Incomplete. They'll rule him out of bounds. They'll say he did not have control of it. Just a tremendous catch, whether legal or illegal, by Wayne, because this ball was tipped by the defender.
Nate Terry on one-on-one coverage, just a deep post route. Watch Terry run underneath of this ball and get his hand on it. That's a touchdown. They missed that call. The official was behind him. What a play by a freshman, and Ryan Clement knew it was a touchdown.
By the way, you can catch it with one hand and have control on your hip. I mean, you don't have to cradle it with both hands. He had control, albeit with his hip and the one arm.
As long as his ball is under control, you have the ball, and it's a touchdown.
First down 10. Zeray. Boy, look at the strength of Zeray. Fighting through a couple of Hurricane defenders. Denny Fortney makes the stop.
Watch the concentration by the freshman Wayne. Nate Terry gets his hand on the ball. It's bobbling around. The ball is pinned to his side as his body slides in the end zone. As soon as his body is sliding in the end zone, you are in the end zone. It's a touchdown. I think he had control of the ball.
Right.
Remember, the official is on the other side of him, though, and may have thought he was still fumbling with it.
On the last play, we have a penalty, I believe, a face mask against Miami. That's the preliminary indication that we get.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask on the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
We cannot lose sight of this sequence of events. Touchdown that should have been given, not, and now some frustration by Miami defensively, another ill-advised penalty.
There's two flagrant face masks by the Miami defense, and you can see the sweat on Butch Davis. He's already upset. They went from a touchdown to West Virginia having the ball on the 48-yard line.
Foreman lines up at the bottom of your screen at the 49-yard line. And they go to him, and he drops it. Hit him right between the numbers, and that's a rarity when you see Sean Foreman drop one like that.
It's unfortunate for Foreman. All the film that I watched on him, he was one of the best receivers at catching the ball with his hands. Why he would let that ball get to his shoulder pads, I don't know.
In talking with him the other day, he credited the size of his hands. He's got the second biggest hands on the team to Solomon Page, number 77, you see right there in front of him. Look at the size of those mitts.
Those are XXX gloves he's wearing. Those are some good-sized balls. And tender, too. You can't have bricklayers when you're a receiver.
Second down and 10. And the timeout called by Bolger. He'll go over and talk to Don Nalen. Don's not understanding why the timeout was needed. Miami by 3. They feel it should be more.
Miami leading West Virginia 3-0 in the first quarter. Want to get you caught up on the injury to junior linebacker Gary Stills. Now, it's been confirmed he's been taken to the hospital here in Miami because of an open dislocation of the right thumb. The trainers were unable to get it back in, so they felt the best thing to do is take him to the hospital and see if he can now have it surgically put back in. Tim, back to you.
An open dislocation means that when it's pulled out, there are some tendons that rip, and that's why they may need surgery.
Second down and 10. 4:46 to play. The fullback White in motion. Little reverse going to Zeray, and Miami does not see it. A late flag at the 30-yard line. Could have an illegal block or a clip. That's a 36-yard gain for Zeray. Quality misdirection look as Eugene Ridgely runs him out of bounds.
Had no idea where that ball was, and neither did the Miami defense. There's a look at Gary Stills. Headed to the hospital, obviously in a lot of pain. That's unfortunate for them. Here's the call.
Preliminary indication it is against West Virginia, either a hold or a block in the back. Those kinds of plays, we see that block in the back called many, many times.
Holding on the offense during the run. 10-yard penalty, spot foul. It'll be beyond the line to gain. First down.
See him run the little fake play and Zeray just kind of pretends like he's going to run the pass block and goes right around Fortney. You can see him come downfield and look at number 65, Sam Austin. He is going to tackle number 23, Dwayne Starks. Really didn't even need to throw a block. It already would have been a 15-yard gain. Unfortunate for the Mountaineers.
The good news is, though, it's a spot foul. It happened at the 30, so now they have it at the 40-yard line. Keaton off the left side. It is wide open. Curtis Keaton. Ushered out of bounds at the 16-yard line. A 25-yard gain. The junior from Columbus, Ohio, taken out by Ridgely and Ward.
Nothing real fancy here. Just a bunch of big boys getting after. You see the zone blocking. Great block by Solomon Page. He got the shoulder of the linebacker up, and with the speed of Curtis Keaton, man, can he get down the field. If anything, he may be a little faster than Zeray. Obviously not the moves of Zeray, but you can see when he gets in that hole, he's in the secondary very quickly.
Turning point in this first quarter, the touchdown not given to Miami, and what West Virginia's done since. The tight end, Wable, wide open, touchdown. Give Bulger a lot of credit. Tremendous play fake. Lost art at the quarterback position in the 90s.
Defensive end Denny Fortney was not fooled. He got pressure on Bulger, but Bulger showed something there. He didn't continue his rollout. Right when he saw the defensive end, he set his feet and found the open man. It's a very veteran move by a young quarterback.
Taylor with the extra point, and it is good. And Miami fans thought it would be 10-0. Now they trail 7-3.
Great play call by Dan Smyrtle, the offensive coordinator. He knew that they were running the ball effectively. He said, let's fake one way, bring the tight end wide open.
Bulger's dad, a backup to Joe Theismann, would be proud of him now. He's given the Mountaineers a 4-point lead. 7-3 off the touchdown pass from Bulger, and the turn of events in the last 5 minutes since the catch by Wayne that was disallowed, leading to this touchdown return, has led Butch Davis to continued conversations with both the linesman and the referee during the last timeout.
Thankfully for Butch Davis, they are playing in front of a home crowd, because if they were in Morgantown right now, the place would be going berserk, and his team would have lost even more momentum. But because they are at home, maybe they can regain some of that when they get this kickoff return.
You see backbeat Popovich and Trent Jones. Taylor to kick it away for West Virginia. Again, a high pooch kick, and a fair catch is called for as the ball heads out of bounds at the 33-yard line by Miami.
Penalty markers down on the kickoff.
Would have been a smart play to actually let that ball go out of bounds. They would have gotten the ball on the 40 instead of the 32.
Yeah, the up back, Dennis Scott, called for that fair catch. Florida now out to a 3-touchdown cushion against Kentucky, and the marker did come down and now being disallowed, I think.
They just threw the flag. Don Nealon having a discussion about keeping that ball in bounds. This kicker cannot let it go out of bounds. You see the discussion. They just called the penalty. They just threw the flags a second ago.
Don't be surprised if Southern Miss doesn't stay with Alabama throughout. The way they played Florida, you recall the opening week, Florida only won that game 21-6.
Another game of interest today is Central Florida and Auburn. I think that could be a very tight ball game.
It's been a tough week for Southern Miss head football coach Mark Bowers. He lost his daughter tragically in a traffic accident in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So I'm sure there's a lot more on his mind than Alabama today. Jeff Bauer, the head coach of Southern Mississippi. And again, the conversation over the 35 or not the 35. That's what this is all about.
Just asking Clement what he wants.
We have 2 fouls on the play. Offside on the kicking team. Kick out of bounds on the kicking team. Receiving team will take the ball. First down at the 35-yard line.
I stand corrected. You get the ball on the 35 after kicking it out of bounds. Good for Miami. Get a couple of yards. but the reason they called him out of bounds, the player was already out of bounds when he caught the ball.
5 plays, 68 yards that last drive for West Virginia. Wable, the recipient of the pass for the touchdown, a 16-yarder from Bolger. Draw to Edgerrin James up near the 40-yard line. It has been a turning point first quarter, one that we might call upon throughout the course of this game. This play, Reggie Wayne, did he or didn't he have it? Control of it going out.
Coach Davis very excited about some of these freshmen he has. He knows they're inexperienced, but when guys can make plays like this, even though they disallowed the touchdown, because that was no doubt a touchdown, very excited to have these young guys around and getting a lot of playing time.
2nd down and 5. Edgerrin James. Nice cut. Look out. Flag comes down. That should be a face mask on Tompkins. And a little whooping afterwards. So it's a 28-yard gain, and you can tack on the face mask. After West Virginia returns to sender and comes up with a touchdown on the following drive, very important for Miami to convert on this opportunity.
Very interesting that they called a personal foul, which is another 15 yards. Watch the huge hole. Both Blaze and Schnupp pull. And there's Carlos Joseph. What a fantastic football player. He works hard in practice, on the weights, everything. Made that play go. Edgerrin James, you see at the end, anytime the head turns like that on a face mask, you're going to get a 15-yarder. And Tompkins has still not let go of his face mask.
Yeah, and that's a 43-yard net play. 28 on the run. Tack on an additional 15. Moving the ball down to the 16-yard line.
Got to like Larry Coker, the offensive coordinator in Miami. He just continues to pound him with the run. And West Virginia, they haven't been able to stop it, so he's not going to slow it down.
Coker in the middle there. He's given it to James 8 times for 45 yards. West Virginia may have been offsides. This could be a freebie. Pass is caught by Magic Benton, and another late flag. He was out of bounds at the 7-yard line as he made his cut trying to make it to the end zone. Cogdell was over there with him, number 1. He, along with Gary Tompkins, number 11. Boy, we've seen our fair share of yellow hankies in this first quarter.
Butch Davis just hoping it's not on his guys again.
We have 2 fouls on the play. Offside on the defense. That'll be declined. We have a late hit, personal foul, out of bounds on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. Ball will be on the 1-yard line. First down.
What's really sad for Nalen is the play was over when the roughing foul occurred. He had stepped out of bounds earlier.
Ryan Clement starting to get a little, gets the play fake in, starting to get a little time, getting more comfortable in the pocket. Magic Benton steps out of bounds right there, so the half the distance to the goal will be from the 7. The whistles were blowing. Even though Benton was continuing to run, players have to hear the whistle and pull off before they hit somebody.
You can see he was clearly out of bounds. So they mark the ball now just shy of the West Virginia 3. 1st and goal. Joseph the up back, James dotting the I. Edgerrin off the edge, touchdown!
This play is designed to go right inside the block by Carlo Joseph, but with the speed of Edgerrin James, he gives a little duck move and then bounces it outside, and he finds that stripe. That's all you have to get to break that play. You can see where the design of the play was, but that little stutter step made the safeties pull up and allowed him to get to the outside.
Crossland for the extra point. Out of the hold of Popovich. Larry Coker's been going to Edgerrin James the entire first quarter.
With his size and speed, he can get to the outside. He's very dangerous against West Virginia.
Follow your favorite team all season long on CBS Sportsline. We've got scores, highlights, breaking news, all kinds of in-depth information. And CBS Sportsline is the exclusive online source for stats on all 112 Division I teams. Click on and be a part of all of the action on CBSSports.com. It's taken a while to play this first quarter, and the conversation continues for Butch Davis, understanding that this lead should be perhaps a little larger than it currently is at 10-7.
Butch Davis is anything. If he's anything, he is a very intense individual.
Miami scoring drive. It didn't take long, and it was all Edgerrin James. 4 plays, 65 yards, 3-yard touchdown scamper to close it out.
I like what Miami's doing on offense. They're trying to take maybe a little pressure off Clement, who did struggle against Pittsburgh. And they're doing a fine job running the football, and that always helps.
And a lot of 3-step drops to give him that comfort zone. George Gaitan to kick it away. Nate Terry will let this one go out of bounds, hence the flag. West Virginia will have it at their 35-yard line.
Edgerrin James, one of those athletes as a defensive coordinator you're afraid of because of his size. He goes 220 to 225 pounds, but you saw the speed down near the goal line. Not a lot of guys his size can outrun the defense to the corner.
Let's get an update from our New York studios. Back to Jim Nance. Jim?
All right, Tim, just a minute before halftime, Alabama, trailing Southern Miss, goes to the air. And Dustin McClintock picks it in 11 yards out. Bama tied at halftime as Southern Miss kicked the field goal just before the gun at halftime. Let's go back to the Orange Bowl.
McClintock starting for an injured Ed Sissom, who's been a real staple in that Alabama backfield, Jim. And we, in this game, have seen upbacks, fullbacks make big plays for Miami and for Don Nehlen's team. Leroy White on the West Virginia side and Carlo Joseph are big downfield blockers at the fullback spot.
You think about Carlo Joseph, he has no rushes so far this year, but he does have 2 touchdown catches. You got to see if Bulger's going to start moving the ball around a little bit to his tight end and other receivers besides Foreman.
On first down, Zeray. Look at the power. I mean, he just ran over the first defender, Sutton 43, knocked him back a couple of yards. If you're a linebacker or a corner coming up in run support, it's tough when you're going against this famous Amos.
West Virginia plays two sets of offensive linemen. You see why. Matt Zarisa does a great job kicking out, but look at the strength by Amos Zeray. Bench presses 470 pounds, and that 147.3 yards per game is 5th in the NCAAs right now.
Coming off a bad week against Boston College. 2nd down and 5. Rolling to his left, Bulger. Right into the arms of Foreman. Past midfield into Miami territory at the 48. Nick Ward, the sophomore from Dallas, Texas, there to cover. 12-yard pickup. They are working Nick Ward at that corner spot today. Nate Brooks, who sees a lot of playing time and in fact scored the winning touchdown when he was handed the ball on a blocked punt late in the game last year, is not suited out for today's game. He's serving a 1-game suspension.
And the guys that Ward and his teammates are playing against have not forgotten, not only last year, but back in 1995, Butch Davis's Miami Hurricanes beat them on a goal line stand.
Bulger, quick hitch to Foreman. Miami read that one beautifully. Dennis Scott, the first to come up, the strong safety. By the way, Duke is 2-0 against the military academies. They've beaten Army and Navy now on successive weeks.
Army and Navy, not bad football teams, too. Look at Don Nehlen trying a couple different things. When you've got that running game going, it allows you to do a lot more things with your passing game. They tried to get a little wide receiver screen there. Dennis Scott, nice job from his safety position. Reading those safeties from Miami will play very close to the line of scrimmage today.
Corey Ivy, the speed merchant, up at the top of your screen. Acegueda at the bottom, wide in motion. Zeray on the delay, and the Miami defense is there. The instincts of Dan Morgan. We touched on it at the top of the show. And you see the freshman, they'd love for him to get bigger, but the instincts may not get much better.
Here is a guy who played running back in high school, had over 22 yards. He's lined up outside your screen. He's going to come on a blitz. The good thing he does, though, he doesn't go for the fake and go for the quarterback. Watch him close down on Zeray. That's his job. Stay as deep as the ball and don't go for the fake. Nice job by a true freshman.
Pretty obvious the Miami defense is taking Amos Zeray away. 3rd down and 11. Bulger's pass broken up beautifully. Ridgely gets in the way. And the crowd responds to the Miami defense.
Miami defensive coordinator Bill Miller said, I will blitz more in this game. The reason that those guys from West Virginia are going to have to throw hots. And when it's 3rd and 10 and you throw a hot slant route, very rare that you're going to get 10 yards on the play. There's a look at Bill Miller up in the booth.
Problems on the snap. Ball still loose. In the hands of Wilbur Valdez at the 47-yard line, and yet another flag down. Don Nalen can't believe it.
A fumble. Number 33, Barrett Green.
Barrett Green apparently just lost it. Ball was loose, and Miami came away with it.
There is no flag on the play.
They have this set up to be a fake, and they're going to snap it right to Barrett Green. He was not ready for the snap, still making his calls. Picks it up, tries to, fumbles the football. Didn't matter, it was 4th down. I tell you, just probably a pretty good concede play. You can see definitely the center is snapping it right to Barrett Green, but he was still making his calls, not ready to handle that snap.
From the 45-yard line, 1st and 10. More on that play in just a moment. Clement steps up, incomplete. Shooting that one long, intended for Fulcher, the tight end. Mondrell Fulcher, and he was there, but it's incomplete. Judging from the look on Don Nalen's face when he got to the snapper on that play, it was pretty obvious to me the snapper felt that the fake was on and no one else knew it.
Yeah, he was having a definite conversation with the snapper about what he did. Unfortunate for them because momentum has shifted very strongly in favor of Miami.
2nd and 10. Again, a 3-step drop, and the pass is lost. Intended for Chris Jones, the tight end. We've seen a few dropped passes and a few dropped flags in this first quarter that Miami leads 10-7.
One thing I noticed, though, and you talked about it a little bit earlier, Tim, is that Butch Davis and his offensive staff have decided, let's go to the 3-step drop. Let's not let Clement get hit anymore. He took about 4 or 5 pops earlier in the game, and those guys know that they can't get him beat up too much more than he already is.
He's 4 out of 11 so far as Clement. He's had 3 passes dropped. 3rd down long, Clement flushed. Needs some help, he'll tuck it himself. Hammered at the sideline, another flag comes down, and Clement wants a piece of the defender, Barrett Green, who nailed him. You talk about the linebacking mentality of a quarterback. Clement got up with nothing but Barrett Green on his mind.
Gotta love this guy. Plays it with a linebacker, plays quarterback with a linebacker's mentality. Butch Davis told us that he doesn't mind getting hit. He just needs to be able to throw the ball. See the blitz coming inside and outside. The right guard tried to pick one of them up. Clement, nice job, though, breaking, contain, getting downfield. And you're going to see Barrett Green clearly out of bounds. Watch it's the old clothesline. Clement is 2 to 3 yards out of bounds. Very dangerous play by Barrett Green. But the one thing you have to like about Ryan Clement is watch him get up right away and get this crowd going.
After contact, they can become even more dangerous, and Barrett Green may find that one out. That's not the kind of mistake Don Nalen's accustomed to seeing from his junior strong safety. 1st and 10 with the ball at the 19. Edgerrin James, that's what he does so well, can bounce off tacklers and has the quick feet to get to the corner. Nate Terry, Steve Lippy combine on the stop.
By number 50.
Ty Wise was the pulling guard on that. He was making his first start today, and Edgerrin James and all of the Miami offense lucky to have him back. He's one of their best offensive linemen.
So a pickup of 4 on what was the last play of the first quarter. A topsy-turvy game with a lot of penalties and a lot of excitement. The end of our first quarter, Miami 10, West Virginia 7. We'll return to the Orange Bowl right after this message and a word from your local CBS station.
Miami leading West Virginia 10-7 after one. Penalties, the big story on the West Virginia sideline. Barrett Green getting a real ear beating from head coach Don Nealing about the silly mistakes. He's saying don't lose your composure, hang in the game, and we can win it. Let's go back upstairs. Tim.
You wonder about the adrenaline. You know, this is a youngster from West Palm Beach. His dad, Joe, played for Neyland when he was at Bowling Green and played with the Giants and the Dolphins of the NFL. So a meaningful day for him, and sometimes it can get the best of a young player.
He'll come back and have a good game. He's a heck of a player, good hitter. But you're right, that adrenaline sometimes works against you. You almost have to calm yourself down just a little bit.
Second down, 6 as we open the second quarter. This, by the way, the 13th flag thrown today on both sides. There have been 6 that we mentioned against West Virginia that have been meaningful.
Good ball. Ball start on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
And we've had, I think, all but one kickoff in this game that's not included a penalty flag. I mean, it's been a mistake fest for both teams. 10 in the game that have counted, but there have been a couple of penalty flags that have been negated or nullified by teams on kickoffs. Clement in trouble and down. At the 27-yard line, Henry Slay with a quality push from that defensive tackle spot. All 290 pounds of him. That's a loss of 7.
Clement had time early, but there was just nobody open. Good zone defense behind the great pass rush by Slay. You can see Thornton and Slay. There was no blitz on that play. That was just 3 men rushing up the field. Slay has made a living against Miami. He had 9 tackles, 1 for a loss last year against these Hurricanes.
Better watch out, Henry. The celebration call could be made. 3rd down and 18. Clement on the post corner. Santana Moss just shy of the end zone. At the 1-yard line, Moss trying to crawl in. Perlo Bastine got just enough of him.
You can see West Virginia showing blitz and then dropping out of it. Only a 3-man rush. This time they're able to handle it. Clement has plenty of time. He's starting to play with that confidence, Tim. Yesterday he told us, I have to play with confidence because I know these young guys, Moss and Wayne, they are getting better. And you can see why they love Moss. Santana Moss is a walk-on from the track team.
3 tight end alignments, strong right. And it's a sneak touchdown. Ryan Clement. Beginning to see just how Miami's met their crossroads today, particularly Clement, who's playing at a very high level.
Look at the excitement on Ryan Clement. You like to see that in a guy who's a senior leader. You've got to know that that sideline's right behind him and just as excited as he is. Just a little warfare down, and you see Mike Wayner, the center. He got to the end zone. That's his job on a quarterback seat. And look at Clement. He is ready to party, man. He is having a great day.
Ryan Clement, the man for the moment. He's led Miami to 3 of 4 possessions for touchdowns and could have had a 4th with a proper call. And is he excited? Does he feel the importance of the moment? You bet he does. He knows that the bar has been raised at Miami for the position of quarterback. He's having to live up to those past champions. And while a title may not be in front of him, today is, and the rest of the season remains. 7 plays and 45 yards, and that roughing penalty by Barrett Green loomed largely in that last drive.
Both teams making mistakes and helping the other team. Miami's biggest problem all year long has been hurting themselves. Well, now it seems to be West Virginia's turn.
It had begun to rain during the timeout, and South Florida weather will change. Sun comes right back out as Gaitan boots it to Terry at the 10. Nate Terry down at the 15. Delvin Brown, number 24, the first to make contact. And when we chatted with Ryan Clement, he let us know there was still a lot this team could play for, particularly given their tradition.
We have to win football games, or it's going to be an embarrassing season. Right now, it's been an embarrassing 2 games. We played well against Baylor, and then 2 poorly played games against Arizona State and Pitt. But we can turn this thing around, and we've got the talent on the team, even though it's not what it's been in the past. But we've got the talent on this team that we can win 8 games.
A lot of past players from this Miami program still very involved. He said a lot of them make him feel bad, but Bernie Kosar, one of the only ones who continues to encourage him.
Bulger rolling out to his left. Corey Ivy comes up with this one, and it was not an easy catch. Pass was thrown a bit behind him, but he corralled it at the 23-yard line. Very important series now for West Virginia. Defensive coordinator Steve Dunlap hard at work along that sideline. This is a zone blitzing team, and they've been unable to really get that blitz into Clement's face as Pittsburgh did.
Pittsburgh more of an all-out blitzing style. Maybe we'll see West Virginia kind of do some more wholesale blitzing.
Zeray. You never know when he may break one. He does have the first down out to the 32, perhaps the 33-yard line. Eugene Ridgely popped him there, the senior from Archbishop Shaw in Marrero, Louisiana.
The thing about West Virginia, it's not panic time. You're down 10 points. There's plenty of time left in this second quarter. And a guy like Amos Zeray, like you said, you never know when he's going to go the distance. So continue to use him in your game plan. Again, West Virginia doesn't need to panic. Stick to their guns and use their best players.
The thing about him is he's a stop-and-go guy, meaning he'll change directions on you in a hurry, and the strength you already mentioned, 470 pounds in a bench press. There's Foreman in motion. Play fake, Bulger. Finds Corey Ivy, he's still on his feet. Hammered at the 45-yard line. Got away from Nick Ward and managed the 46, did Ivy. Sophomore from Boca Raton, Florida.
Watch the isolation here on Nick Ward. Good route. Nick Ward giving plenty of cushion, but here's the difference. He's got to get a little lower. He got a little high on the pads, and that's why Ivy was able to get away. That is what killed Miami against Pittsburgh, was missed tackles, missed first tackles down the field.
Foreman and Green come to the bottom of your screen from the 46. Zeray running into the boundary. And again a cutback. Stop and go. And go. And go. Touchdown, West Virginia.
Number 20, goes 54 yards. Touchdown.
The offensive line for West Virginia doing a fantastic job. You can see the backside guard and tackle, the tackle being Holland. Look at the cut block on Dan Morgan, and then it's all Amos Zeray. One miss there, head for the end zone, cut back across the field to all that open grass. Touchdown, West Virginia.
The extra point by Taylor is good. Now this is a game that may have lost some of its national prominence given what happened the last couple of weeks to each of these teams, but they're playing like their season is at stake. CBS Sports coverage of NASDAQ college football will continue after this word from your local station. Zeray on his way for the Mountaineers. A proud mascot, stuffed or not, here at Miami, but so much at stake, and you love it when big players make big plays for their respective teams. And now Zeray has answered Ryan Clement of Miami.
Not a big guy at 5'10", but Zeray makes so many people miss. You saw it on the touchdown run. Guys thought they had him wrapped up. 84 yards, a lot of that was Amos.
He now has 7 carries for 92 yards, 54 of them on that one run. Taylor will kick it away for West Virginia. Trent Jones from the 1.
Up to the 24-yard line, and let's go down to our colleague on the sidelines, Dave Logan.
All right, Tim, thank you very much. You know, we've all been talking about Amos Zeray and the power and the strength that he has, but you know what's unusual about this entire West Virginia running back team, or running backs, they all bench press over 400 pounds. He's the leader at 470. And if you think that's something, think again. You have linemen who can't bench press that much. When I was in the NFL, I could go a little over 400, but never 475. Now, Ed, you played as well. How much did you bench press? And don't lie, we can look it up.
My best ever was 460. But I've got nice long, well, very short arms, actually.
But he's lost 75 pounds since. James Jackson, his first carry, number 21, freshman from Belle Glade, Florida, getting some playing time with the loss of Dyrell McMillan. He, along with Edgerrin James and Trent Jones, playing tailback today. Gets it up to the 30-yard line. Miami's first 4 possessions today. And recall, one of those touchdowns taken away.
And that was on a very gutsy call by Butch Davis on 4th down, where his freshman wide receiver Reggie Wayne made an incredible catch that was disallowed in the end zone.
And could be a major factor in the outcome of this one if the track meet continues. 2nd down 4. Clement, pump fake, finds Reggie Wayne again. Up to the 46, maybe the 47-yard line. Nate Terry makes the stop, along with Gary Tompkins, after a 17-yard gain.
Reggie broke all freshman records last week versus Pitt, and you're going to see why. He's got great speed. He's a big guy at 6'2". Nate Terry, the best cover guy for West Virginia, is having a tough time sticking with him today.
And again, another Miami area player having to deal with Wayne. Nate Terry is out of Homestead, Florida. Something in that defensive alignment or offensive alignment that Ryan did not like, and he takes a quick timeout. 10:41 remaining. Canes are up, but by only 3 in this very meaningful Big East matchup.
The University of Miami would like to welcome the...
All right, Jim, our scoring summary. Andy Crossland got it underway with a 32-yard field goal in their opening drive. And then Chad Wable on the receiving end of a touchdown pass, giving West Virginia a lead. Edgerrin James became a factor as the quarter continued. And on into the second, Ryan Clement with a sneak after a couple of penalties against Barrett Green really hurt West Virginia. And then Zeray with a 54-yard scamper to answer Miami's touchdown on the last drive. As Mark Bulger looks on, the quarterback for the Mountaineers, his counterpart Clement having a magnificent day. Incomplete, tipped into the air, intended for the tight end Mondrell Fulcher, sophomore from Coffeyville, Kansas. Can't come up with it.
These stats won't sound too impressive. 6 of 13 passes for Ryan Clement, but remember, there were 3 drop balls and the 1 disallowed for a touchdown. 95 yards. He would be up around the 150-yard mark and close to 100% if it weren't for those drops and the poor call by the official.
I've seen no problem with his arm in this game. He had the shoulder problem last year. There are many critics that believe he's not been the same quarterback since. Nice little out pattern. Omar Roll, who was hammered in the first quarter, you'll recall, left the game. Boo Sinzabaugh sends him out of bounds, number 19 at strong safety. The junior from Norton, Virginia.
Damon Cogdell laying another shot on Ryan Clement. You'll see him come from the middle of your screen. Just a little flat route by Omar Roll. You see the other receiver running the guy off. And here's the pressure on Clement. He gets rid of the ball. Oh my, how do they not call that a late hit on the quarterback? He had 3 steps to stop himself, did Cogdell.
James Jackson looking for the corner. Run out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Boo Sinzabaugh again over there to make the stop.
You can see why the Miami coaches are very excited about this young running back. Just a freshman, 5'11", 215 pounds, a good size for running back. But there you saw his speed to the outside. And there's one of the funnest. It's an ibis, which is, I'm pretty sure, an extinct bird.
A rare marsh bird they're found in South Florida. It would take too long to go in depth on that.
Yeah.
2nd and 6.
Jackson, boy, he was about a foot or so from breaking that one. Finally falls to the turf at the 33-yard line.
And there's a nice look of the dimension that James Jackson brings to this running game. He can bust it up inside with his 215-pound frame, or with his speed the play before, he can get outside and get you a tough 4 yards.
James Jackson, the freshman, liberal arts major out of Belglade, Florida. The total yards continuing to rack up for both of these teams. Miami with 205. We have the track meet that we anticipated. On first down, a play fake. Well defensed. That pass fell incomplete, intended for Nick Williams. Ryan Brady was over there to cover, but West Virginia had that one snuffed out.
We talked about the offensive line, and Larry Coker said that they had to do a good job of picking up the blitz more. Ryan Brady was unblocked on that. He was nobody's assignment because they ran a play fake and what's called a naked boot. Larry Coker knows that that is a calculated risk, and sometimes you're going to get your quarterback hit.
Second and 10. Quick out, just shy of the first down to Magic Benton. Magic Benton is one of those highly thought of players that's just never lived up to his potential. In and out of the doghouse, has had some problems straightening himself out academically. And the new look Miami program under Butch Davis, you make it to class, you adhere to the rules on and off the field.
Because they've had the ball so much, they've had to get Magic Benton and Omar Roll back into the ballgame. Magic Benton started the season last year in '96 with 3 100-yard receiving games in a row, and then kind of fell to the wayside. Starting to have a nice game this afternoon.
Third down and a yard to go. Miami 3 out of 5 on third down conversions. 3 out of 6 after Cogdell really smelled that one coming.
And they find themselves in that kind of gray area where it's a little too long for a field goal and too short for a punt. Here you can see the little counter. See Wise trying to get upside. He needs to continue outside to get on Cogdell. That is his assignment. Tough for James Jackson to go anywhere when guys are missing blocks like that.
Clement's going to get that timeout and discuss the matter a bit. So with just over 8 to play in the half, Miami leads by 3. We've had just about everything in this first half. 8 minutes remaining, and Ryan Clement going for yet another fourth down conversion. The last time this occurred, a touchdown pass was nullified. We felt it was an improper call, and Don Nalen was happy to have it. He looked for Reggie Wayne on the post, and another flag comes down. My statistician, Scott Alexander, had just passed to me that we'd had 13 flags in this game, but no flags in the last 3.5 minutes. That just ended.
That was entirely too long for this game. Those guys knew they needed it.
Look at procedure on the offense. Dead ball foul, 5-yard penalty.
There's just no excuse for that after a timeout.
And they are trading penalties. Both teams are doing things that are killing them. And these head coaches, especially Butch Davis, who's under a lot of pressure, of course, here at Miami, you are under a huge microscope. And he knows these mental mistakes are going to kill his team.
And again, those were the penalties taken. 11 of those have been taken. We've had penalties on just about every kickoff in today's game.
That have been declined, or we may set some kind of first half record.
Now they will try the field goal. Crossland from 51 yards. Popovich is the holder. Now remember, he had a fake and he threw a touchdown pass against Pittsburgh off of it against the Panthers a week ago Thursday.
Crossland's pass is 50. He's got the leg for it.
Not this time. Just a little short. We also may have a world record for cannons going off on points they thought were made but weren't by Miami in this first half.
They're 2 for 2 on those, and Andy Crossland got underneath that ball and didn't get enough leg on it.
Last week, our CBSSportsline.com all-time greats poll. O.J. Simpson among the running backs. We'll give you the results in just a moment. Foreman, the intended receiver, that one overthrown. Here were the results. Herschel Walker, I think the voters were hunkering down last week, so the Bulldogs get the nod with Dorsett, who was known as Dorset while at Pitt. And of course, Pittsburgh was known as Pitt in those days. This week's poll, the greatest wide receiver of all time. Here are the nominees: Tim Brown of Notre Dame, A.C. Rice, Howard Twilley, Johnny Rogers. Tune into our game next weekend and find out who the fans' choice on CBSSportsline.com all-time greatest poll is. Again, that reverse off the fake, and it's wide open for Zeray. He's forced to cut back and is stopped in Miami territory at the 47-yard line. Chad Pegues, number 94, made the stop, a 20-yard gain.
Here's the same play where Bolger just fakes the pass. Zeray spins back around. Denny Fortney needs to get more upfield so he can keep contained. The two Miami safeties had run into each other. They had got so crossed up on that, but you've got to like the hustle by defensive tackle Chad Pegues coming in from the backside to make that tackle.
That play has all of the effect of a Statue of Liberty.
Yes, it does.
Keaton off the pitch. Stopped behind the line, may have lost a yard there. Delvin Brown, number 24, is over there to make the stop.
Just a straight pitch play. Solomon Page, left tackle, not able to get his man turned back inside.
Watch the right part of your screen. This hit. Hello.
Foreman, not only a great receiver downfield, but he talked about the size of his hands. He was able to grab that guy and toss him in the air.
Dennis Scott was airborne there, number 25 of Miami. Bolger with time. There appeared to be contact between Ivy and his defender, but no flag. He continues to lobby with the back judge, but he won't get any help.
Dennis Scott, the safety for Miami, got away with on that play. Corey Ivy was running by him, and Dennis Scott figured instead of giving up a touchdown, I'll go ahead and grab him. He got away with one on that one, Tim.
This is a Miami secondary that, because of its 4-3 setup, it many times just plays zone concept. That time he was on an island with Ivy and did not want to give up the touchdown. Another flag prior to the snap. Could be too much time against West Virginia.
Dead ball. 5-yard delay of the game. On the offense, still fourth down.
Those are the kinds of penalties this deep into September a veteran coach like Don Nehlen just cannot come to terms with.
West Virginia has a huge advantage up front with their offensive line. They average close to 300 pounds, and the reason they've been so successful against this team is that the defensive line of Miami is less than 270.
There you see that beef. Where is it? Bolger for Foreman. Boy, again, hits the shoulder pads and pops off. Starks was with him, number 23 for Miami, their best corner. It falls incomplete, and West Virginia will have to punt it away.
Dwayne Starks, one of the reasons that the safeties for Miami are allowed to play closer up to the line of scrimmage. Good coverage. Look at the balance to be able to get that hand down. But Foreman, again, needs to catch that ball in his hands. Don't let it get to your shoulder pads because it's going to bounce out almost every time.
Brian Ballman will get it off around the 35-yard line. Starks is back deep. Fair catch called for inside the 20. Heads out of bounds at the 18-yard line. 6 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in our second quarter with Miami leading it. Don't forget, next week, the MasterCard College Football Today gets us started. The Big Pony, the coach, and Jim Nance set it all up, and the table continues with Georgia Tech Boston College, or many of you will see the Ole Miss Rebels. Tommy Tuberville, a former Miami assistant to Jimmy Johnson, takes on Hayden Manning and the Tennessee Volunteers. All of that next week on CBS Sports. First down 10 at the 18 for Miami. Hedger and James again. And Terry takes him out, and another late flag. Again, once you've got him out of bounds, no need to hold on.
I think we may have another face mask penalty. A lot of guys grabbing up towards the helmet area. Hopefully for West Virginia, Nate Terry will be of the 5-yard variety, not the 15-yard variety.
It would appear that that is the case.
5-yard face mask foul on the defense.
Nice job by your cornerback. He is the last line of defense outside. Cannot let Edgerrin James, look at the left hand. Very brief moment, but if the official sees it, he will call it. You got to get guys' hands away from the face mask. If he lets go and doesn't pull the guy down with it, it's only a 5-yard penalty.
If you see that neck generally being torn back towards the front of the shoulder pads, it will be a 15-yarder. And again, West Virginia on the ground and in the air, but perhaps spreading it around a bit more. Penalty yards are 70 against them, and that's really hurt. Edgerrin James beyond the 30 to the 33-yard line. Busenzabaugh making the stop.
Edgerrin James again showing the incredible blend of size and speed that he has. Senzabaugh had to bring everything he had to make that tackle. James just gets that corner so quickly, and he's got really good fullbacks out there. Carlo Joseph is out there trying to block for him. Nick Williams, a 269-pounder out there blocking for him, and he's doing a nice job of being patient and waiting for the blocks to develop.
12 carries, 62 yards for Edgerrin James. Right up the gut this time, not much room. Thornton was down there along with Slay. It's tough to get any yardage against that front three. For those of you that just joined us, Gary Stills, that outstanding linebacker for West Virginia, a jammed thumb, he's out of the game. And we've seen really Miami try to take advantage of that, running James off the edge, trying to take advantage of Ryan Brady, though Brady has been up to the task many times.
Made a lot of nice hits so far in this game.
Blitz. Pass complete to Reggie Wayne. Boy, look at that move. Inside Mountaineer territory at the 49. Damon Cogdell runs him out. Gary Thompson was coming. Gary Tompkins, the free safety.
It's nice to see. Watch the center, Mike Wayner, as he pops out to pick up Tompkins. He's going to get a pop in his legs, and Edgerrin James is going to finish him out. That's what gave Clement the time to find a wide-open Wayne. And look at that. Just changes field on everybody and gains another 5 or 6 yards. Watch the blitz again from the outside. Wayner got tripped just a little bit. Nice cleanup by. And there's Slay again. What a nice job he's done upside, getting some pressure from the middle.
Ryan has been taking a beating, but he's been no less effective. Over the middle, Moss has it. Santana. He's had a couple of drops. That time, as he brought it now, they're going to say it's incomplete. They're going to say he had no control. And you can bet that that will not be greeted by the fans in a favorable way. Though he did appear to have his breath knocked out as he hit the deck here.
Watch him go horizontal for this football and try to tuck it in. Again, Tim, I don't know that I agree with that call. Should get a good look at it here. As he goes in, he's going to tuck it into his body. You have to get your arms underneath the ball, which he does. And wait a minute, there's the ball touching the ground. He possibly did not have control. Now remember, the ground cannot cause a fumble, but you have to be on the ground first to have that rule in effect.
Well, he clearly had possession as he hit the ground.
The question for the official becomes, did he have possession while he was on the ground long enough before he bobbled it? And unfortunately, it's a very subjective call and a difficult one for officials behind him to make. We'll take another look at it here. Watch how he tries to get his arm underneath the ball. I agree with you, Tim.
Yeah,
that angle shows that he was on the ground long enough.
Oh, yeah.
To have that called, and you can see the ball hit him right in that sternum and knock the wind out of him.
Miami leading by 3, but they haven't been getting any of the intangible breaks in this game. Clement over the middle and a drop. Franks, who does have one reception today on that opening drive that led to a field goal. Steve Lippy, who can play each linebacker spot, number 50 for West Virginia, was there covering. And Ryan Clement a little bit upset with his teammates.
And should be. That's 4 drop balls that we make that 5 if you count Santana Moss's drop on that last one, which we thought was a catch. But that is one way that you can shake a quarterback's confidence. A guy who came into the game and knew that confidence was a big deal. That's one way to shake it, is not catch the ball when you're thrown and it's thrown your way.
3rd down 10. Clement for Wayne. You better wrap him up. Finally they do. Charles Fisher wouldn't let go. And Ryan Clement's on the deck.
Going to see Kevin Landau come around from the outside and gets right up under the chin of Ryan Clement. Clement is definitely hurt. He's back into the huddle right now, but you can see him getting driven into the turf. Face mask and his chin strap comes all the way up into his nose. Clean hit by Landau, but a very effective one. You see Clement, he's still got that fire, though. He's not going to let any of this take away from him, I don't think, today.
Also, Gary Tompkins of West Virginia comes up gimpy. He's being taken off the field. Last year, the week before they played, West Virginia, East Carolina played Miami, and this separated shoulder for Ryan Clement caused a lot of problems for the remainder of the year. And as recently as this week, off the performance against Pittsburgh, there were those that really believed, a number of coaches really believed he was not the same quarterback, not the same zip on the ball, though today he's had a big, big day.
He may not be, but I really am impressed by the guts that he is showing today, taking a pounding, and he is not stepping down.
Edgerrin James, oh, nice use of a stiff arm. And another one as he's taken out at the 20. Boost Sensabaugh has been seeing a lot of the back of Edgerrin James today, and we've got another Mountaineer on the ground.
You're seeing a clinic on how to run with the football, avoid defenders, run through defenders, and use a stiff arm. That's John Hadley. He's one of the best linebackers in the Big East. Edgerrin James he uses another one to get another 3 yards. Both him and Zeray extremely strong in their upper body, and that's why they're able to do that.
That's Jamie Sweeney that's injured, senior out of Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Strong side linebacker, and they're looking at that knee, and that's not good news. And they've already lost Stills today. He's been to the hospital and back with a jammed thumb. Their best outside backer. This is one of their better inside linebackers.
Watch number 48 as he's kind of taking on the block. His left leg, you can see it right there, kind of crumbles a little bit. Hopefully not too bad for him. Carlos Jofis is the guy blocking him. He has been such a big part of the running game for Miami today.
Miami still by 3.
The lessons young people learn from a coach are important throughout their lives. Things like character, self-discipline, motivation, and teamwork. A coach is a mentor. Time to Big Heart, you can make a difference in a young person's life. To find out more, call America's Promise at 1-888-55-YOUTH. Every kid deserves a sporting chance.
The good news for the fans in Morgantown, West Virginia, is that Sweeney is walking off clearly under most of his own power. A concerned Don Nealon, not only for Sweeney being out of the game, but having also lost Gary Stills in the first quarter, the opening series, and now his team trying to get back in it, trailing by 3 in what has really been a bizarre first half for many reasons. Miami's Ryan Clement, who was almost taken out of the game 3 plays ago, leads his team to the line of scrimmage on first down. Quick pitch to James. This is an option to pass. Lets it fly. It's picked off. Perlo Bastine came away with it.
I don't know that I would want Henry Slay tackling me after I made an interception.
This one should not have been thrown.
Here you see the little halfback option. You could kind of tell from the start, wasn't much of a fake. See how he starts running flat and slowing down? The defensive backs are reading that. You see them all dropping back. Edgerrin James just has to tuck that ball, take the loss, and go on to the next play.
They were looking for Darryl Jones, the freshman, #1. Here's Zeray cutting back to the 14-yard line. But going back to that return by Bastine, he was really in no man's land in terms of taking a knee and getting it at the 20 or bringing it out. I'm not sure he knew where he was.
Most defensive coaches will tell you, though, to go ahead and try to get it out. Because your offense is kind of caught running around, they don't know where the football is. See, Bastine, he read it perfectly the whole way. Got under it. You're right, he could have taken a knee, but most defensive coaches want that ball out, try to make a big play.
1st and 10, or 2nd and 6, I beg your pardon. Zeray again. Always looking for more. About 2 yards shy of a first down. Rod Mack up to make the tackle, along with Damian Lewis. Number 92, the freshman from Sulphur Springs, Texas. Zeray now up to 120 yards today. Make it 121 officially on 10 carries, and 54 of that coming on the touchdown run.
You have to figure at least half of those were after he'd gotten into the secondary and made somebody miss. This guy is so special. Not only shifty and fast, but you saw right there, he can also get the tough yards.
Here's an example of that, but Miami appears to be up to the challenge. He appears at first glance to be a half-yard shy of the first down. Good penetration by Miami up front. 2:38 to play, and it'll be 4th and short.
Watch the Miami defense get up the field. Pegues, nice job making penetration, make the offensive line stop their forward momentum, and then your linebackers can come up and fill, including your safeties can too, where Ridgely came up and finished off Zeray.
Dwayne starts back deep. Brian Bauman to punt it away. Should get it off around the 10. Starks, plenty of room on a low line driver. It's on the ground. And a break for Miami. He's the last to control it. And the Canes will hold on in West Virginia territory near the 45. He had illusions of grandeur on what was a low line drive punt.
Got very excited as the ball was coming to him. You can see him catch it on the run just like a good outfielder does. But you got to tuck it away before you run to all that open field, because there was plenty of open field in front of him.
Yeah, his eyes got big.
Oh, yes, they did.
But not on the ball, ahead of him about 20 yards. 1:58 remaining in our second quarter. Canes lead it by 3, 17-14. Clement, incomplete. Looking for Chris Jones, and another flag comes down. I believe we may have another face mask infraction. Boy, we've seen a number of those today.
Nate Terry was ready to go up and lay a pop.
That's the 5th face mask violation of the afternoon.
See Nate Terry at the bottom of your screen. He's in his zone coverage. He's just waiting for that drag route by the tight end, and goes up to get the football. And somehow, I don't even know how he got his hand down there. He had both hands on the football to grab that face mask. And that was a 15-yarder. That was not of the 5-yard variety.
And again, you saw the head snap backwards.
And that is the key to that penalty. Whenever that head moves or is jarred, they're going to make it a 15-yarder.
9 penalties, 85 yards against the Mountaineers. That is far too many for Don Nehlen. Clement, post corner, Santana Moss. Out of bounds at the 6. He stepped out as he made his cut. Well, he had a drop in his first opportunity. Since that time, you can understand why Clement loves this freshman.
Santana Moss just running the deep out, and the reason he can make that double move is because of the great protection by the offensive line. A little more body control will come with some age, though. because he needs to find that cone without getting out of bounds. Again, Clement's got all day to set his feet. Gets nice height on the football so that Moss can run underneath of it. What a move by Moss. Track guy, state champion in Florida last year, the 200, the 400, and the long jump. That's why they're so excited to have this guy not only doing track at Miami, but also playing on the offense on football.
Split backs for the Canes. Clement in trouble and down, way back at the 19-yard line. Well, that's the one thing he didn't want to have happen. Henry Slay again with quality pressure, and that down 3 for West Virginia can make a difference inside the red zone.
And you wonder why they're hustling to get back to the line. The clock is running. They can't stop it, Tim. They have burned all 3 timeouts.
Questionable usage of those timeouts. Clement again, flushed from the pocket. Flag down, incomplete. Wayne and the tight end Fulcher were both in the same general area. Now Clement and Henry Slay having a little conversation. I think it started out heated, and then some smiles. You see a holding call, the preliminary indication.
Here you'll see the sack on the prior play. Great pressure up the middle by West Virginia. They're not really blitzing any linebackers. Bomb came from the outside. John Thornton, though, he's the big man in the middle that we talked about at the outset of the game. Very active for 300 pounds. Good closing speed.
On the offense, 10-yard penalty.
Having been an offensive center and guard, you know all too well, if you're around 270 and you're going up against a 300-pound nose tackle, that's a big, big difference, isn't it?
You better have some technique, because that's the way you're going to win that battle. Outquick them and use some technique.
1:10 remaining, and now it's second down and an eternity. Pass is incomplete. Over the head of Trent Jones. We're coming up on the College Football Today Ford Division halftime report. Our Jim Nance, Craig James, and Lou Holtz will get you caught up on all the scores and highlights from around the country and some pivotal scores. Mac Brown's North Carolina Tar Heels trying to get over the Virginia factor. They had lost 7 of the last 9 games against the Cavaliers. One of many games they'll be looking at halftime.
Coach Davis and Don Nealon cannot be happy with the sloppy play that they've witnessed in this first half. This game, if these two teams hadn't hurt each other, could be 35-30 at this point.
Third down and goal from the 36. Again flushed. And what a remarkable play. Landolt again burst through and sacks him back at the 48. That is quickness coming from 6'5" and 285 pounds. Senior from Burlington, New Jersey, gets to Clement.
Kevin Landolt on the left side of your screen. They ran a little, it's called a TE stunt. The tackle comes down inside, the end loops around, and Landolt has great speed for 285 pounds. And you can see he just barely gets the ankle of Ryan Clement.
Getting past the tight end, the key. Landolt did. West Virginia, a quality stand.
You want to see where the real action is in a college football game? Well, look right here. The domain of the mighty coach. Oh, he's all over my guy. I want to see a popcorn trap on right. 50 yards of pacing room with a little left over to flail your arm. Hi, sir, you been doing much flailing? He doesn't do much flailing. 79, I need a head nod or something. You're just leaving me over here standing. Hey, let's hustle up there. Let's get that going. Let's get that going a little bit. That's what I want to see.
West Virginia with a turning point in the first quarter, a touchdown negated off what we felt was a poor call in the end zone when Reggie Wayne brought in a 4th down conversion from Clement. Faced again with some adversity, 1st and goal at the 6. Miami winds up punting from the 48, reminiscent really of drives in the red zone against Pittsburgh in the first half a week ago Thursday.
They went backwards more than they went forwards in the red zone against Pitt.
Crossland to punt it away. Nate Wayne let that one drop, and it's out of bounds up around the 15-yard line. West Virginia, with 39 seconds remaining, will have another opportunity.
And with 2 timeouts, this is plenty of time for them to get at least into field goal range and try to tie this ball game up.
It's America's Night of Television. Season premieres of Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, Early Edition, and Walker, Texas Ranger, all tonight on CBS. Season premieres Saturday night. Here we are on Saturday afternoon, where Mark Bulger, overlooked perhaps because of Clement's outstanding play and Zeraway's big run, he's done everything that Don Nehlen would ask of him. Zeray dropped that one. You have to be impressed with the freshman starting for the first time, Dan Morgan. He was right with Zeray, not fooled at all.
And that was the concern of Bill Miller, the defensive coordinator. He knew he would fill in the run. We saw him make a couple tackles for loss earlier in the game. But on that one, you're right. He read that screen perfectly and was out there knocking the ball away.
Offensive coaches have made their way down to the locker room, and you see Bill Miller, the defensive coordinator, up at the top of your screen. He has to be happier with what he's seen from his Miami defense in this half, though Zeray has had a few big plays. Here he goes again. Up to the 26-yard line. Does that surprise you?
Not really. You know, you've got a long way to go to get into field goal range. If you have a turnover down at this side of the field and they get a field goal or a touchdown, it just takes so much wind out of your sails when you go into the locker room at halftime. Let your best player run the ball. Who knows? He may pop one.
Well, they're not asking Bulger to win games. They're asking him to get it into the hands of those who can. That being Foreman or Zeray. Little fade route going out to Corey Ivy. He may have had that one. I think he does. Right in front of the Miami coaches at the 48, and that'll bring about an argument along the Kane sidelines.
I love the call by Dan Simrell. They could have let the clock run out, but that was a very safe pass. It was either going to be incomplete, out of bounds, or a catch for West Virginia. Now they have the ball with the shot of going downfield before the end of the half.
3 wide receiver set up to the top of your screen. Bulger wanted to air it out, but can't. Derek Ham, number 71. Junior from Merritt Island, Florida, coming away with a sack.
Here you'll see 4 down linemen rushing against him. You've got plenty of protection, but Ham is one of those relentless guys who never stops, and that's why he got that sack.
Let's go down to Dave Logan. Dave.
All right, Tim, thank you very much. Coach, you trailed by 3. I mean, you got to be happy with Zeray, but the penalties are killing you.
Oh, no question about it. And plus, they're ridiculous penalties. That's, don't ask me, they're driving me crazy. I'm going to have gray hair, but we got to eliminate those penalties.
All right, Coach, have a good one. Tim, let's go back to you.
All right, that's the end of our half with a score: Miami 17, West Virginia 14. Jim Nance, Craig James, and Lou Holtz will be along with College Football Today right after this message and a word from your local station. So he'll be
for the Wolverines to come back now to tie it on a touchdown pass to Streets early third quarter there in Ann Arbor. Virginia Tech is 4-0, trouncing Arkansas.
Clement would love to have that ball back. He let that one go, and it floated on him.
Arkansas State, and in that game Frank Beamer became the winningest coach in Hope.
Because of NCAA violations that were questionable, a questionable dinner ticket that cost him, they thought perhaps a couple of games, turned out to be the entire season, so he'll be eligible again, but not this year. They need Reggie Wayne to play well with the loss of the likes of a Jamie German.
The thing about the reason he was suspended was because he had kind of lied to them about what happened, but then recanted and told the truth. And to me, when a guy tells the truth, yes, he should have been suspended for a while, but I think 1 year, pretty stiff penalty when you finally realize your mistake and correct it.
Clement on the post. That pass floated on him just a bit. Timing pattern for Fulcher, the tight end, falling incomplete. And it'll be 3rd and 20.
That's the tight end down the seam play, and Ryan Clement would love to have that ball back. He let that one go, and it floated on him. his entire career has not thrown a touchdown pass against West Virginia. Had a quarterback sneak earlier. He's probably begging the coach, hey, can we run a little play action so I can break that jinx?
Clement swings it out, flags down. Carlo Joseph all the way down to the 41-yard line, about 2 yards shy of a first down. The flag thrown back toward the line of scrimmage. So they may be bringing this one back.
Again, Tim, this is not, they would not have had the first down, and they may have been able to go for it because they're in West Virginia territory. But even if they did punt, they could have pinned West Virginia way down inside their own territory. It's a game of field position at this point. This tight of a ball game, seesaw back and forth. And Butch Davis knows tight penalties like this, now they're going to back them up inside the 30. West Virginia could end up with very good field position.
On the offense, 10-yard penalty.
Penalty takes them all the way back to the 27-yard line. So now you're ending up with 3rd and 34. You just hope to get about half of that back on this play.
So now the ball all the way back to the 27-yard line. Darrell Jones is in at one wide receiver spot on 3rd and 30. Jones to the bottom of your screen. Edger and James stopped back at the 26-yard line. Barrett Green tagged earlier with a personal foul call that aided a Miami scoring drive. He comes up with a big play here, the kind of play Don Nalen has come to expect from this young man.
And you hear the boos pouring out of the Orange Bowl. When it's 3rd and 30 plus, what are the chances that you're going to get a first down? Run a safe play, get your punter on the field, and hope he gets off a good kick.
Crossland's second punt coming up. This is a beauty. High spiral, taking Terry back to the 31. Up to the 35-yard line. Dan Morgan cannot believe that he did not get a flag for a block in the back. So the boos continue to rain down here at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Still plenty of time in the 3rd.
Chevy Blazer with the exclusive driver control system. A little security in an insecure world.
Somewhere between amber and linen, there's heaven. Between heaven and earth, there's daylight. And if you follow daylight past sunrise and dawn, your eyes open to a color called morning. One of the colors between the colors created by Canon Laser Color. Its only competition is reality.
You're so lucky. Not one gray hair.
When a woman can run her fingers through your hair and can't tell you blend away your gray, that's a natural-looking result. And that's just what you get with the hair color called Just for Men. Its unique formula blends away gray. Shampoo in, then rinse, all in 5 easy minutes, and it matches your gray to your natural color, so nobody knows, even close up.
I just love your hair.
Just for Men. It looks so natural, even she can't tell.
If you're an office manager, you have one thing on your mind.
Morning, Linda.
The price of supplies.
Hey, Linda, do you like this picture of me and my boyfriend?
Oh, this is all wrong. Come on, relax. You know you're saving money shopping at Staples. Focus on other things. Linda! Save money at Staples on 7,000 office supplies at guaranteed low prices. Staples. Yeah, we've got that.
West Virginia has the ball at their own 38-yard line. 5 minutes deep here into the second half. Second series for the Mountaineers, trailing by 3, 17-14. Zeray in motion. seldom used Leroy White, fifth-year senior at fullback, takes it up the middle. We touched on Jamie German, the loss of him. He's now become a volunteer student assistant for the team and is helping receivers. And as you mentioned, he admitted his mistake. And Jamie German is a young man that when you consider all of the other losses, this is one that they could ill afford to have, and the NCAA leveled a very stiff penalty.
Not only the NCAA, but guys leaving school early, like Yatil Green, a 6'3", 220-pound receiver, gone from the team early. And then they lose Tony Gator last year as well, one of their speediest receivers.
Bulger's pass is caught. That's Corey Ivy again, a 14-yard pickup to the 49-yard line of Miami. Back to New York in Jim Nance.
Tim and Ed, check this out. Doug Johnson, the Florida quarterback, to Jamie Richardson. The 5th touchdown pass of the day for the Gator quarterback, and they're blowing out Kentucky on its home field. How about the Steve Spurrier system as we go back to the Orange Bowl?
Going into both of those games, he was the other quarterback. You had Peyton Manning, then the other guy. Then you had, obviously,
Tim Couch.
Tim Couch, he's the other guy, and all he's done is surpass Werfel at the same stage a year ago, and he went on to win the Heisman. Timeout called by Bulger. Don Nehlen will chat about it with 8:47 remaining. Mountaineers in good field position.
NASDAQ College Football on CBS is sponsored by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. The NASDAQ Stock Market. And by Nicorette Gum. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
Miami's Orange Bowl. Tim Brando along with Ed Cunningham. And unsuspecting hands. Take a look at this, Ed.
Watch him get under the wrong guy. This heat has gotten to everybody. Randy Dunnigan says, hey, I don't have a football. You got to go to my line mate, Eric DeGroat, to take the snap.
I think the last time I saw that is on a blooper tape from the USFL, a Portland Breakers game. You've had that happen, though, right?
Yes, I have, and I was screaming for him to come back and get the ball from me.
Zeray gets hammered at the line of scrimmage. Rod Mack clotheslined him, and Pegues was there to polish up. A loss of 2, and Zeray got a very mean greeting up front.
This is about the only way you're going to stop this guy. You see Rod Mack kind of creeping up towards the line of scrimmage. That's the best way to defend a counter play, is get penetration up the field. And Rod Mack was standing there waiting for Zeray when he got the handoff.
2nd down and 12. It's pretty obvious the Miami linebackers had a wake-up call from the game against Pittsburgh to today's game. Play fake with a marker down. Foreman cannot reel it in. Pass thrown just a bit behind him. Dennis Scott was over there to provide coverage, and as I mentioned, a flag is down.
Foreman was wide open right at the beginning of the play, but because of the play fake, Bulger had to carry out the fake. By the time he turned around, it got a little late, and the safety Ridgely had gotten over to defend.
Procedure is the call. Jim McConaughey has had some problems with his microphone, a microphone that we, by the way, do not control.
Illegal formation on the offense. Penalties decline. 3rd down.
And of course, Tim, it works perfectly right after you say that.
You had to know. The Gremlins are taken care of, right? Some things never change, whether you're a veteran or a rookie.
Hasn't missed a free throw in 10 attempts. What's he going to do? Hasn't missed an extra point all season long. What's he going to do?
Pat Green, the wideout, is at the top of your screen. 3rd down, 12. Bulger's pass almost picked off. That was Green running the little curl. Was shy of the 1st down. Nick Ward, number 3, was right there with him.
See the one-on-one out there. Nice coverage by Ward. Actually, the ball had been thrown a little earlier. He could have come back and caught that, but Ward was in position to make the tackle before the 1st down marker.
Ballman to punt it away. West Virginia needs to get another guy out there. They finally do. Play clock ticking. They get it off. Miami coming for him. And he shanks it a bit, but he gets a quality Mountaineer roll. Miami coming after the block. The ball does rest inside the Canes 20 when we come back after a 32-yard punt.
Mountaineer cheerleaders making it down from Morgantown. What a tremendous place to see a football game, by the way. West Virginia, the Morgantown area, they have better than 72,000 on hand for every game they play. And a welcomed addition to the Big East Conference. 1st and 10, Miami at their own 18. James Jackson carries. Perlo Bastine comes up to make the tackle. Look at the numbers from the first quarter to now on the ground.
5 yards rushing. They haven't gone away from rushing the football. They just haven't had the football a lot in this third quarter.
Omar Roll is coming to the game. Roll comes in motion. Quick out to the motion man, Roll, who loses it up around the 30-yard line.
Number 9, Omar Roll.
Perlo Bastine again coming over to make the tackle.
Little pick route run on the left side. Omar Roll, known as a possession type receiver, and they like guys to be able to run those routes that are good route runners. And you'll see, watch the block by Reggie Wayne. Coming back on number 33, Barrett Green. Maybe that's a little payback for what he did to his quarterback earlier in the game.
They don't forget. 3rd and short, 3rd down, a little more than a yard. Flags are down. James Jackson stopped behind the line of scrimmage around the 24-yard line. We'll have to check the marker. I'm impressed with James Jackson. That time he was stopped behind the line, but he's looked good with every opportunity that he's been given.
Watch the cadence by Clement. You can see his body kind of jerk a little bit. You can see the guys flinching. And that's what they have to do. As soon as he gives that hard
offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
As soon as Clements gives that hard count, if the defensive line kind of rolls forward into the neutral zone, then he's got to call for the ball on the next snap. You're going to get 5 yards if they get into that neutral zone.
That's not a happy camper. You give up a 1st down that way, particularly when you've held Miami to 5 of 10 on 3rd down conversions, as West Virginia had prior to that 1st down. Offset I. Over the middle and caught by Santana Moss. He has become the 2nd favorite target, second only to Reggie Wayne in this game today for Ryan Clement. He has 3 catches for 65 yards, the freshman.
You'll see Santana Moss coming on a little bit of a crossing route right there at the bottom of your screen. Unfortunately, he only gets credit for 1 catch because he tried to catch that ball twice. But the key, he did not drop it, and then Clement will come back to him later.
From the 48-yard line, James Jackson right on cue. Another 1st down to the 41-yard line. Cogdell corrals him. Let's go back to New York and Jim Nance.
Well, Tim, for Kentucky, no Tim Cup kind of performance on the big stage today as Florida's just pounding them. Fred Taylor, 16 yards out, he's over 100, and the Gators are mummifying the Wildcats in the 3rd quarter. Back to you guys.
Yeah, not a day to lay up, Jim.
It was an interesting matchup, but as you see, the powerful Gators, when you can hold a Kentucky passing attack to 7 points, very impressive day for their defense.
You know, in golf, you say going for the green in 2. With Florida, you say go for the end zone in 1. Wayne to about the 30-yard line. And this is a Miami offense that you get a feeling, Ed, is beginning to catch some rhythm.
Starting to hit a little stride. With the speed that Wayne and Santana Moss have brought to this offense, the reason those plays are successful, those little out routes, little slants, because the cornerbacks from West Virginia have to play off a little bit. And defensive coordinator Steve Dunlap knows that for his guys not to get beat deep, they have to have that cushion.
1st and 10 with the ball at the 30-yard line. Another flag. It appeared that the left tackle moved.
Right as we start talking about this offense getting in the rhythm, they make another mistake. These are things that if they plan to win out the season, which they talked about yesterday, they have to cut these out.
Yaqub Abdul Mateen appeared to be the guilty party. Left tackle there. And it's at this stage of the playing field where all of those kinds of errors seemingly occur.
Get down close to the red area or inside the red area. Miami all year long has just moved back and back, missing blitzes, having fumbles, and then penalties.
1st and 15. James Jackson. Nice play by Barrett Green. He's slow in getting up. Drags him down back at the 34-yard line. This is a West Virginia defense that was #1 just a season ago. They've lost some talent. They've dropped somewhat in '97. But again, when the strength of your defense is your front line, that means you got some younger players on the perimeter that have got to get it done.
And that's where Larry Coker, the Miami offensive coordinator, thought he could take advantage of this West Virginia defense, was in the defensive backfield where they had to replace 3 NFL-type defensive backs.
Movement again. This time it appeared to be the tight end. Franks, number 88, moved prematurely. And Clement is taking that proverbial I can't believe it posture with his teammates.
Dead ball, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat the down.
6 penalties for 39 yards in this half alone against Miami.
Franks, one of those 20 freshmen that the Miami Hurricanes have had to play. And it's mistakes like that that are going to kill this team in the long run.
There you see it. West Virginia with just 1, but they've had their share, all of them coming in the first half. Jackson, James Jackson is the I-back. Clement, little drag pattern to Jackson. To the 32-yard line. Much like Edger and James, this is a guy you really want to get involved in the passing game.
And the nice part about going to him is it's 2nd and almost 20. And with a quarterback like Ryan Clement, he knows he doesn't have to get all 20, but cut it down a little bit so now on 3rd down, you have a legitimate shot to convert it. James Jackson checked his responsibility in the backfield, nobody to block, runs a little drag route, and that's why the coaches love him. He can make a lot of folks miss.
You see the wide receivers, the distribution solidly with the wideouts today. And that's good news for Miami, and Clement is trying to adjust to these young receivers. Safety valve to Carlo Joseph, nailed at the 28-yard line by Bastine, number 3, the cornerback.
West Virginia has to be breathing a sigh of relief. Miami was knocking at the door. A couple of penalties and some good defense on 2nd and long and 3rd and long.
Crossland missed
holds them to a field goal attempt.
And Crossland missed a 51-yarder earlier, you'll recall. This one will be from 46 yards. With an angle left for the left-footed kicker. They'll officially call it 45. It's low with a nice little fade, but again too low. And a tough day for special teams as Crossland has come up empty twice, and the score remains 17-14. Just as Miami appeared to be headed in the right direction, it all begins with turnover problems. Today's NASDAQ Scholar Athlete of the game is Steve Lippy of West Virginia. NASDAQ's commitment to the investment in our future is shown today by donating $1,000 to West Virginia's General Scholarship Fund. Steve, a young man from Ohio, played at the Lake High School in Uniontown. Our congratulations to him. You know, this is a West Virginia team that offensively has 3 players that are headed to medical school. Not much room up front for Keaton. Stopped around the 30-yard line, the entire Miami front, a part of it. Morgan, the linebacker, also coming in. Those
those offensive linemen, including DeGros, Pekinis, and Wable, the tight end. 3 of their frontline players are all headed to medical school. They've all been passed through their undergraduate areas and approved for med school. Passes to Corey Ivy. Boy, he nearly broke that one. He's all the way up to the 50-yard line. That's a well-designed play.
Again, because of Zeraway's ability to run the football, or excuse me, West Virginia's ability to run the football, you can run the play fake and get those defenders sucking up into the line of scrimmage, run a little boot, get your quarterback out of the pocket and let him see that side of the field. And there's Ivy. If Ward does not make that tackle, he's headed for 6.
Under the 2-minute mark here in the third quarter. I don't know that it's been a defensive third quarter, just the offenses have bogged down. Keaton stopped 2, maybe 3 yards behind the line. Pegues, who's been everywhere today, stuffed him.
Pegues was a little questionable coming into this game, had a sore ankle, and he's going against Pekinis, the best offensive lineman from West Virginia. They were wondering if he was going to be able to push off and get upfield. Well, he's laid all those doubts to rest. He's having a great game, and remember, he was on the sidelines with a sore knee not 2 series ago.
2nd down and 12 means Miami will play pass, and they get Jeff Taylor into the game. Michael Smith into the game, number 59, an extra linebacker. Quick drop for Bulger, finds Foreman to the 49-yard line, well shy of a first down. Rod Mack wraps him up, and if you look at this defense, Steve Dunlap talking with, among others, Bastine, Sensabaugh, and Cogdell. If they can continue to play at a similar level, you have to figure Sean Foreman may make a play for you. Zeraway already has, and if Miami absorbs a big play from West Virginia's other big play guy, then the Mountaineer defense can play with a lead rather than from behind. 3rd and 8. There's Foreman. And he nearly broke it to the 31-yard line. Bastine, we mentioned earlier, such a quality defender. That's Nick Ward, number 3, making that tackle.
You hear all the time, why do they run routes that aren't to first down depth? And there's the reason. If you've got a guy like Foreman who's bigger than the defenders, and he can run off some guys with his speed, it allows him, after he makes the catch, to get the first down. And those are the times when people say, oh, why didn't they run to the depth of first down? Well, that's why, because a guy like that can get you the first down after the catch.
That should be the final play of the quarter, and it is. That's the end of the third. Miami still leads 17-14 at Miami's Orange Bowl. We'll be back right after this message and a word from your local CBS stations. We open the fourth quarter. West Virginia in Miami territory at the 32-yard line. Mark Bulger, junior quarterback from Pittsburgh, leading the Mountaineers. Curtis Keaton carries. Stopped at the 30-yard line. Picks up a couple of an event-filled first half. No scoring in the third. It all began with a Crossland field goal of 32. Chad Wable, a 16-yard reception to give the Mountaineers a lead. But then Edgerrin James had a big first quarter, a 3-yard touchdown run. Clement, an even better first half, had a sneak to make it 17-7. Then Amos Zeraway set free for 54 yards to make it a 3-point deficit for West Virginia. That's where we stand now. Play fake. Bulger decides to tuck it. Pays a price at the 27-yard line as Starks comes up to pop him. A resourceful move by Mark Bulger, who, he doesn't just jump out at you, but he doesn't hurt you either.
That's the key to a quarterback when you have this many weapons like Zeraway and Foreman. Don't hurt us, just move the ball around. A very wise decision by him. Nobody was open. Give a little pump fake so the defense has to respect you throwing it, and then get as much as you can.
This is the time when big plays are made by big-time players. And with Zeraway back in, he would figure in, as would Foreman, number 16. Sean Foreman, the bottom of your screen, and there's a mix-up and a timeout called prior to a 25-second violation. And Don Nealon perplexed.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Hurricane Club.
Not quite 90 seconds deep into this fourth quarter. A big play forthcoming.
Right now, back to Tim and Ed.
All right, Jim, and that's a game Rick Neuheisel really needs. After that disappointing loss against Michigan. Crowd here is up. Miami trying to stop West Virginia on 3rd and 4. Looking for Foreman. Touchdown! Before the break, I said this is a time in the game when big-time players make big-time plays. You had to wonder when Foreman would get his. It just happened.
With the loss of David Saunders for the year with the knee injury, Foreman, his best friend on the football team, knew he had to step up. And here he steps up big time. Covered by Nick Ward. He got away from him.
Taylor with the extra point. And the tone has now been set for the remainder of this game.
Again, the play fake brought the safeties up, and that means Sean Foreman is one-on-one against Ward. And you can see the separation. He got great body control to get a part of his body into the end zone.
Mark Bulger knows who the playmakers are.
Sean Foreman's 6th catch of the game is a huge one. It puts West Virginia up 21-17. All day I've said he's got to catch the ball with his hands, and he does it right there. He gets the hand, the hip, the leg, everything's in bounds. That's a touchdown.
You know, the 2 drops he's had are the ones that the ball hit him in the chest. You're right. If his hands aren't extended, he's not as good at receiving the football.
And when you get the hands up like that and you're able to catch the ball away from your body, you're able to control yourself better so you can get pieces of your body in the end zone.
Taylor has been pooching the ball to up receivers all day. Trent Jones and Popovich are back deep. They're waiting at the 5. This time he'll kick it to them. Jones at the 8. Trent Jones had a seam, but Jason Williams and Plants, the fullback, comes up to make the stop. Miami leading after the 3rd quarter, and when leading in the last 13 quarters, look at that. 13 seasons after a lead in the 3rd quarter, they're on 111-0. After the 3rd quarter. And they were leading after the 3rd today.
That's called tradition, Tim. They've been ahead in a lot of ball games in the 3rd quarter.
You go back through Schnellenberger, Johnson, and Erickson, and the Butch Davis era for all of that. Edger and James stopped at the 32. Barrett Green, who has not made a poor play since he was flagged in the first half.
Good job by your safety. When everyone else bounces it outside, you need that run support, and that's what Barrett Green gave him on that one.
2nd down and 11.
Just under 13 minutes remaining. West Virginia showing blitz. Here they come. Clement in trouble. Finds Wayne, pass just behind him, but I'm sure Reggie believes he should have come up with it. Up around the 44-yard line. Let's go down to Dave Logan. Dave?
All right, Tim, thank you very much. Just wanted to get you caught up on the injury to Gary Stills, the injury that was suffered in the 1st quarter. I just finished talking with head trainer Dave Kearns, and he's informed me that about 30 minutes ago, Stills was operated on, had surgery over at Jackson Memorial to repair, a dislocated fractured left thumb. He is up, he is alert, and he is on his way back to the Orange Bowl. Tim?
Good news for the family and friends of Stills, and West Virginia defense has played well without him. Ryan Brady due in large part to that.
He might be back in time to see a finish.
Pass is overthrown, incomplete. Intended for Wayne and a bit overthrown. And now Miami forced into a punt formation. And the Boo Birds come out at the Orange Bowl.
3 and out for the West Virginia defense after the offense went out. Got a score, got them ahead in the game. Starting to play a little better offense, not on West Virginia, not moving themselves back. Miami moved the ball early, but they're still struggling on the offensive side of the ball.
Since those penalties, and they gained a drive in the third quarter, their offense has not been in sync. Nate Terry backed all the way up inside his 20. And finally hauled down at the 24-yard line. Don't forget, coming up next week, CBS Sports coverage of NASDAQ football continues with the College Football Today. Jim, Craig, and Lou Holtz, sponsored by MasterCard, will set the table for you. And then on NASDAQ College Football, our game of the week, Georgia Tech, Boston College. Many of you will see that one. Those of you in the southeastern portion of the country see Ole Miss and Tennessee. Peyton Manning taking on his dad's alma mater. All of that next week on CBS Sports.
See Clement having a little conversation with upstairs.
Leroy White in motion on 1st and 10. Boy, Zeray is so good after contact. Negotiates beyond the 30 to about the 33. Eugene Ridgely finally brings him down.
He has shown why he's one of the best running backs in the Big East. He showed all of his speed and strength.
Second down and 4. Zeray, the lone setback. Movement by the tight end, Anthony Beck. That was after Zeray had gone in motion, and now a little extracurricular verbiage coming from the Canes and the Mountaineers up front. It appeared that
dead ball, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat the down.
You can see White in motion. Beck just thought it was on one, and obviously it was on more than one. That's the one where you leave the huddle, you say the count to yourself 3 or 4 times, it's on one, it's on one, it's on one. You get there and it's not on one.
Second down and 9. Zeray. Not a bad time to go to him. And, you know, having Keaton on the field for the bulk of the third quarter means Zeray is well rested for the stretch run. Rod Mack makes the stop. This is a time in the game when you want to control the offense. And the total numbers certainly there with West Virginia in the second. Miami bogged down after that one series when the penalties really hurt them after a pretty good drive.
All even there, and the penalties are starting to even up too as Miami on offense has gone backwards more than it's gone forward.
3rd and 3. This is a necessary stop for Miami. They really need to stop West Virginia here. Bulger gets it to the tight end, and you can sense from the West Virginia sideline how important that first down was. Gets it to Anthony Beck, the tight end.
Great protection by the offensive front of West Virginia. Bulger has all day. Looks a couple different ways. Becht was covered and then came open. Remember, Becht was the one who cost them 5 yards a minute ago with that motion penalty. Making up for that mistake, Don Nealon very happy to have Becht, a big tight end at 6'5", 260, and can run.
Yeah, both of them can block too. Chad Wable already with a touchdown reception, the other West Virginia tight end. Zeray. Michael Smith, 59, wraps him up. Got a little help from Damian Lewis. At this time you begin to think, how long has it been since the Miami program has endured 3 consecutive losses after an opening win? Well, you have to go back to '84, Maryland, Boston College, UCLA, but that was a bowl game. In '80 they lost to Notre Dame, Mississippi State, Penn State. Those were in the regular season. So from a regular season standpoint, you'd have to go back pre-Schnellenberger.
And remember, Butch Davis was here a few years ago under the Jimmy Johnson staff. He's very well aware of the history of this place.
Down to the 38-yard line. That one complete. Foreman, Ivy, all becoming a part as Dennis Scott makes the tackle.
Corey Ivy working on Nick Ward, has a nice height advantage at 6'2" to Nick Ward's 5'10". These West Virginia players, especially at wide receiver, the great effort. Watch him go up, get his hands on the ball. Dennis Scott just a little late getting over, and the size of those receivers has become all too apparent in the second half.
They've been successful enough going to Ivy to allow Foreman better chances at making big plays. Ivy now has 6 receptions. Leroy White rumbles down to the 31-yard line of Miami. Let's go back to New York, and again, here is Jim Nantz.
Tim, this is not to be believed. 3 minutes to go. Wyoming first down, just trying to run out the clock with a 2-point lead. They fumble the football. Ron Merkerson picks it up, takes it to the 24. It sets up Jeremy Aldrich with a winning 18-yard field goal with just 1 second to go. It ended just a minute ago. Colorado prevails by 1. Back to the Orange Bowl.
Sort of the college version of Pisarcik. I mean, if you think about it, puts it on the ground. Yes, it was a running back rather than a quarterback, but they're just trying to run out the clock. And here's Zeray running down the sidelines. Touchdown.
Zeray goes 31 yards. Out here, touchdown.
31 yards. The second touchdown run of the day for Zeray. The earlier one went for 54. No need to gasp for breath now, Amos. He is special.
He's gotten a lot of work today, hasn't he, Tim?
Taylor adds the extra point. Just tremendous blocking here at the point.
Nothing but zone blocking. That's what they love to do at West Virginia. When you have a back who has that vision in those moves, you don't have to get fancy. And he takes the plunge into the end zone. Watch the left side of the offensive line. That's tight end Anthony Beck destroying Matt Sweeney. What a great block from your tight end. Of course, he's like an offensive tackle at 265 pounds.
Zeray, last year's Rookie of the Year in the Big East. He's a veteran. He's trouble if you're a Miami fan.
NASDAQ College Football on CBS is sponsored by Old Spice High Endurance Deodorant. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. And by Siemens, for the leading edge technologies in electric and electrical engineering, depend on Siemens precision thinking.
Along with Dave Logan and Ed Cunningham, Tim Brando, happy to have you with us. You look at the scores by quarter, it's been all West Virginia here in the fourth after Miami had led for the 112th time at the end of 3 quarters in 13 seasons. Right now versus Miami, you begin to wonder, could they possibly pull this out? Trent Jones up to the 34-yard line. And the Canes take over first down and 10. This has been a sluggish Miami team in the fourth quarter, and you think of West Virginia coming down from Morgantown in the heat and humidity of a sultry South Florida day. They appear to have the better legs.
Talking to Ryan Clement, the problem they've had on this Miami team is they only have 62 guys on scholarship. West Virginia has 85. Your depth becomes a problem, and at Miami, it's tough to get walk-ons when the cost of education is $30,000 a year.
Private institution as well. Enrollment only around 7,000 here at the Miami campus. They flood the zone for James Jackson. Out to the 42-yard line, pickup of 7. Bastine makes the stop. They're trying to exercise some demons, this team on the sideline.
More. This is what we work for. All sides. This is what we work for. 6 feet deep.
Right now, their offensive line coach, Dave McMichael and Leroy White, are saying, listen, we are where we want to be. It's on our shoulders. If we get the ball back, we've got to run out the clock.
Second down and 3. the blitz. Clement gets it out of there, and good for a first down up to midfield. And he hit the deck yet again. Reggie Wayne on the receiving end, and again, Clement slow to get up. Ryan Brady over there to make the stop.
Clement has shown an amazing courage in today's game. Things have not gone his way. His statistics not as good as he wants. And you see Hadley on the late delay blitz. Gets a nice hit on, and Clement is coming out of the ball game. We will see Scott Covington.
Scott Covington, 6'2", 215-pound junior out of California, capable of being a similar quarterback to that of Ryan Clement. Well, he gets his opportunity now. Play fake. Lets it fly for Wayne, incomplete. And again, quality position for Nate Terry.
The one thing Scott Covington does have, he's got a gun. Talked to Gino Torretta earlier this week, the Heisman Trophy winner from here at Miami. He told me this Scott Covington has a hose attached to his shoulder. And believe me, that's a compliment coming from another quarterback.
Ryan has just absorbed so much punishment, not only today, but throughout this season.
Don't forget, he had a very sore back after the Arizona State game, and all the pounding he's taken. You've got to assume that's flared up.
Here comes the blitz off the corner. Did not see it from Barrett Green. A loss of a dozen. And what a big performance for Green today since that costly penalty against him in the first half.
Barrett Green coming from the outside with Steve Lippy. James Jackson has to make a choice. Who do I block? He's got to take the inside guy. And Covington, that is his man. It's a hot read. He's got to throw to a receiver who breaks off on a shorter route.
Go defense! Go!
Third down and 20. Drag pattern again to Trent Jones. He's got plenty of room and a lot of speed. First down, Miami at the 25. Greg Hernandez holding down number 12. The cornerback for West Virginia.
Trent Jones used mostly as a kickoff return guy, getting a lot of action because they're in 3 and 4 wides. You can see him lined up in the backfield, just running a little drag route. And because West Virginia does not want to get beat deep, they've got all their defensive backs behind the Miami receivers, and that's why all that space was available.
Covington looking for Wayne, and now sacked by Henry Slay. Back at the 37-yard line. And that down 3 has come up with big-time sacks just after Miami's gained momentum all afternoon.
That's the best part for West Virginia, is that they are able to get pressure and sacks on the quarterback without blitzing. And you can see Slay at 295 pounds. He is relentless.
Back down to the field, and Dave Logan. Dave?
All right, Tim, thank you very much. I just spoke with the head trainers of Miami. All the medical staff says that there's nothing wrong with Ryan Clement. They said he's perfect, he's not injured, so maybe it's just a move on Butch Davis's part to try and see if someone else can ignite a comeback.
Trent
Tim?
Jones trying to ignite this offense up to the 28-yard line.
I don't think that is the case, Tim. I believe that Ryan Clement pulled himself out of the game. He got up from that hit and ran right to the sidelines.
Well, if nothing else, you have an opportunity of shaking it up. Covington hasn't absorbed nearly the punishment as has Ryan Clement. Ryan Clement on the sidelines, whether pulled or pulling himself. He's not playing, and Covington is, and this is as big a series as the fourth-year junior out of California has ever had as a quarterback for Miami. They have got to score on this series. Here comes the blitz up the middle. They pick it up. Little out pattern complete to Darrell Jones, the freshman from Dallas, Texas.
Interesting decision by Butch Davis. It is a 2-score ball game. Do you go for it or do you kick a field goal? It'd be about 35-yard field goal. Looks like he's going to go for it.
Well, what they'd have to do, remember, if they kick a field goal, they'd have to get a touchdown and convert a two-pointer to tie the game. So I think obviously the chart would say go for it here. 4th down and 5. They're showing blitz. Here it comes. Covington can't find an open receiver, and West Virginia gets it. On downs. Slay with the pressure. But again, Hadley was coming. They were bringing the kitchen sink here.
Even though that Covington is a junior, he's very inexperienced, only played in about 3 ball games. He cannot take this sack. Throw it up in the air, it doesn't matter. Hope one of your guys runs underneath of it. You cannot take a sack at that point. And Darryl Jones was open down the field, he just didn't see him.
Finally, Henry Slay, who has 3 sacks this afternoon, ushered him out of bounds. But Cogdill was coming, Hadley, Lippy, they brought everyone on that 4th and 5.
This is where West Virginia was meeting on the sidelines with their offensive line and saying, guys, when we get the ball back, we got to run it out.
Zeray is a good option. And even on that play where they only get it back to the line of scrimmage, Ron Mack brings him down. He uses a lot of time and forces Miami to use a timeout. Look at that. 9 tackles today, 5 tackles, 3 sacks for Henry Slay.
Henry Slay, a very interesting character, and talking to him during this week, he likes to watch film of other teams and compare himself to other players at the collegiate level. I'd say he's comparing pretty favorably today. He deserves all the camera time we're giving him, too. What a great ball game.
He was talking about Eddie there. That's his brother, who was truly his role model at Ohio University. Henry is a marketing major, has done very well for himself. And a big afternoon for him today. After the game, our college football coverage rolls on with CBS Sportsline. You'll get scores, highlights, all the breaking news, plus individual team pages for all 112 Division 1A schools. Don't forget to cast your vote in our Top 25 Team Fan Poll. It's all at our cyberspace address, cbssportsline.com.
Provided by the Miami Herald.
Let's go back to New York. It's been an eventful day, hasn't it, Jim?
It really has, Tim, and while Miami could be on its way to a 1-3 record, can you believe it? Notre Dame is an alarming 1-3 as Michigan bowls over them with that touchdown, the winner. Chris Floyd, 3rd quarter, 14-yard touchdown run, and the Irish lose for the 3rd straight week to the Big Ten. Let's go back to Miami.
Here's Zeray, stopped at the 32-yard line. You've got to go back to the Jerry Faust era for 1-3 for Notre Dame to start a season. I mean, you've got to go way back. That has been it has been a long time since that happened. After the game, our college football coverage will roll on. 28-17 is our score. Back to the game in just a moment.
Sponsoring a national drive.
3:16 remaining. West Virginia with a 28-17 lead, and Miami now out of timeouts. They'll need a stop here and a big play, a very quick score, and then an onside kick. That really is the only thing that can help Butch Davis's team.
And you would assume West Virginia with a 11-point lead would run the ball again at 3rd and 8. Be very tough to get a first down here. Miami still has a shot.
Play fake, wide open, the tight end. Chad Wable again. Inside the 45 to the 44-yard line.
I'm not guessing plays anymore, Tim. Been wrong about 3 times today. Very safe play for Bulger. Run a little play fake because Miami obviously thinks they're going to run. You can see the linebackers all feeding up. Somebody's got to get back in pass coverage. That was Bill Miller's biggest concern, the defensive coordinator for Miami, how they would react to the play action. Didn't react very well that time.
What this does for the Big East, you think Virginia Tech, now remember they played a non-conference game, blew out Arkansas State today. And they've got a very easy non-conference schedule. One would think if they could run the table, they're very much a part
of the alliance picture with regard to a possible national title.
And have been for the past 3 years. That's a program that has really turned the corner.
Zeray gets it in there. If you're saying to yourself, well, Miami and Syracuse are struggling, and they are, that's obvious. All you have to do is look at the records in the Big East this year, and you have an easy non-conference schedule, as Frank Beamer's team does have. They could be that other team in the mix that's perhaps not rated as highly as teams in front of them, but still very much a part of the picture, though they have to go to Morgantown in mid-October. That may be the stiffest test.
And I think that West Virginia, although they showed us today that they're a very good football team, will do nothing but get better and better and better. Don Nehlen has that defensive backfield. A lot of young guys are starting to get some playing time, and the heads are starting to hang on the Miami sideline.
Zeray again down the sideline, trying to stay in bounds, but doesn't. Rolled out inside the 30 at the 29. Mountaineers schedule: Rutgers, then they're off to Maryland. The rest of that Big East schedule. Virginia Tech, as I mentioned, that is the game that everyone will point to within the league. Then off to Syracuse. They get a bye week, which is important late, because at that time of the year, injuries can become a part of your scenario.
And you have to take the treatment as seriously as you do practice and things like that. You've got to get guys healthy at that point in the season.
And you got to go to Notre Dame, but we know Notre Dame is off to a very difficult start.
The funnest formation for an offensive lineman in all of football is what they're running right now. This is called the victory formation. I'm taking a knee, guys. Run the clock.
The Miami schedule, it only gets more difficult. Off to Tallahassee next week. Then at BC, in a game you'll see on CBS. And Virginia Tech, they have to go to Blacksburg in November, and they close out at Syracuse after a bye week.
And who knows with Syracuse? Syracuse started out very slow last year and turned it on. Butch Davis knows that. They were beat by Syracuse. West Virginia lost to Syracuse last year.
Zeray stopped at the 30. Don't forget, it's premiere Saturday night on CBS. Season premieres of Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, Early Edition, and Walker, Texas Ranger. Better than 200 yards rushing for Amos Zeray, a career high. We're being told officially 204 yards today. And you see Bill Miller, the disconsolate defensive coordinator, up at the top of your screen. Not much he can do. Clock will continue to tick. Zeray tackled. And Don Nehlen exercises the Miami Demon that has been such a problem for the last couple of years.
Don Nehlen loves getting this bat. This is the first time he has ever beat Miami in the Orange Bowl. I'm sure he's not upset to be freezing cold.
Not since '93 has his team won. They did it today, 28-17. So for Ed Cunningham and Dave Logan, this is Tim Brando saying so long from the Orange Bowl, where West Virginia has upset Miami by a final score of 28-17, dropping Butch Davis's team down to 1-3. The Mountaineers are 3-1. Amos Zeray, a record-breaking performance, all seen today on NASDAQ College Football. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports.